You're watching the Conference USA on ESPN+. Tonight from Aggie Memorial Stadium, New Mexico State looks to bounce back from a season-opening setback against UMass. The Quick Lane Bowl champs from a year ago play host to FCS Western Illinois, with tonight marking the season opener for WIU. Great to have you with us from high above Aggie Memorial Stadium. Adam Young alongside the former Aggie DB, Danny Nee. Tatiana Favela joins us in a bit from the sidelines. Well, a tough loss for the Aggies last week. Now it's week one, but it's game two for the Aggies. What do you hope to see tonight from Jerry Kill's squad?
Well, first of all, you got to clean up what happened last week. We started slow, ended up turning over the ball. You had to press a little bit to catch up on the score, and you just didn't have enough gas in the tank at the end of the game, and you pulled up short. But there were positives and there were negatives. Clean up the negatives and look to the positives, and here we are.
Turnover is a big issue for the Aggies a week ago. 3 committed, 0 forced. They'll try to flip the script here tonight as we take a look at Nee's Keys. They are presented by the El Paso Las Cruces Chevy dealers, Danny.
Yeah, absolutely. We just talked about this. You got to start quick. You want to get not behind the chains a bit, so you got to start fast, score early, get a little cushion in there. The next is you have to dominate that O-line. Everything is won and lost on that O-line. Dominate the O-line, and you'll be ready to go. Had a great talk with Coach Mitchell on our O-line. They're looking stout and ready to push those guys and dominate that O-line. The last is you got to make a play on defense. So many times, Adam, we were right there, and we just couldn't make the play. We're in the right spot. We got to make those plays this week.
Jerry Kill said earlier this week, Diego Pavia, the Quick Lane Bowl MVP from a year ago, was trying to do a little bit too much. But, Danny, he's a competitor. I think we'll see a different Diego Pavia here tonight.
Yeah, I think it's the first game for everyone, right, including Diego. Diego gets out there. He tried to press, and when you're pressing and you try to do so much, you make some silly mistakes, things he normally doesn't do. I expect Diego to be a champion. He'll get out there. He's a gamer. He'll be ready to go. I expect better things for him this week, and he's going to be looking good.
There's a look at Aggie head coach Jerry Kill. He knows this Western Illinois program quite well. Now, Jerry Kill was the head coach of Southern Illinois for years, so he played Western a bunch. Jerry Kill 6-1 all-time against the Leathernecks. In Western, Danny, they're trying to snap a 13-game losing streak dating back to 2021. They did not win a game a year ago.
Well, here's the thing. Coach even said it. It's like you play whoever's on your schedule. So, yes, they're looking to snap the losing streak. And it can happen tonight, so you can't overlook anyone, and that includes Western Illinois tonight. You got to make sure those Leathernecks know, hey, look, you come to our house, let's set the tone early, let's take care of business.
Western Illinois will kick off to NM State. Owen Valek, the freshman, will kick off to the Aggies. Star Thomas and Jonathan Brady back deep for NM State. Keep an eye on Brady tonight. Jerry Kill said earlier this week we have to get the playmakers the football more. And guess what? One of those playmakers is the young man out of Vegas, Jonathan Brady, who had quite the freshman year. He's back deep with Thomas. Week number 1, game number 2. NM State looking for their first win of the season. Western trying to snap that 13-game losing streak. And we're underway on a warm night from Aggie Memorial. This is Jonathan Brady, who did not return kicks a week ago. Good return for Brady, who's upended at the 30. So pretty good field position to start for the Aggie offense, led by the Albuquerque native Diego Pavia.
Yeah, Diego, he came across last year. He really won the job. Coaches says we like him because he's a gamer. He came out last year, won the job, was the MVP of the Quick Lane Bowl, and so he's even better than 22. Look for him to really take the next step forward this year.
Turnovers were an issue for Pavia and the Aggie offense a week ago, but there were also some really good bright spots. Trent Hudson, the newcomer at wide receiver, had a couple of touchdowns. Monte Watkins had an 80-yard touchdown run. Catches made by Brady. So the emphasis early is get Jonathan Brady the football.
Yeah, I think get it in his hands. He's a playmaker, right? Get him on the outside. He's a speedster. He had a great 22. We know that he can take it downfield, so get the ball to him and get it going. It's already a little different, right? So last week it's like, no, we will run the ball because that's what we do. This time it's like, what do you set up? What are you going to give us? And we're going to take it.
Pistol back, Jamani Jones. 3 receivers near side, nobody top side. Aggies hand it off for Jones. A stiff arm gets an extra yard or 2 after the stiff arm, and it brings up 3rd down. For the Aggie offense that scored 30 points a week ago, 20 came in the 4th. When they had to hurry and rush, we saw the offense have pretty good tempo last week and have good success.
Yeah, and part of that success, Adam, is our running back core. We have a core running backs that are stout. There's a lot that coach can do, We bring in another quarterback. We mix it up. There's a lot that we can do, both from receiving and running. Good core of running backs.
3rd and 6, line to gain is the 40. Aggies did not score in the first quarter a week ago. Also did not score in the third. Struggled to start the two halves. Pavia back to throw, swings it out for the running back Star Thomas. Thomas gets the first down. Good second effort by the big man out of Homer, Louisiana. Danny, he shedded some pounds and he looks really good.
Yeah, he was a workhorse last year. He could run over people. He's broke some, and really we've looked at a couple times where he's run the ball, and we've looked at each other and said, oh my goodness, look at Star Thomas taking it upfield. Here's what I like about that. It's a read. Here comes the pressure from the outside. You throw into the pressure. That means that there's no one out there to cover Star, and he's able to take that for the first down.
Thomas needed 6. He gets 9 on the catch and run. Running back Jones again. RPO. Pavia will pull it. Pavio heaves downfield, has a man, it's caught. That's Trent Hudson. He had a couple of touchdown catches a week ago. There is a penalty marker down, though, near midfield.
Boy, Trent Hudson had a great game last week. And he just broke across the middle, a little post, and it just kept climbing in there. And the flag is off to the right there that you can see. But you can see Trent as he broke across a little crossing or post pattern in there. He was late coming open, and Diego had lots of time back there. Great props for that offensive line, dominating that line, getting that pass off. Great job.
It was holding on Western Illinois. Our referee is Rodney Burnett. The Aggies themselves only committed 2 penalties a week ago. That was one of the positives in that loss against UMass. Tight end is Tomas Whitford. Hand off to Jones. Good patience. A stutter goes to the perimeter before he's upended out of bounds by Braden Smith, the senior safety from Springfield, Illinois.
You know, both running backs, Jones at 6'2", 225, and Starr at 6'2", 225. Both of those guys are load, and you can see right here, it's coming at you. I'm going to stiff arm you, and if you can't get into his body, you're not going to be able to pull him down. Both Starr and Jamani are great, strong runners.
9-yard gain for the Tulsa native, Jamani Jones. Good start offensively. Jones still the running back. David and Whitford, bottom side of the screen. Tomas, the tight end, lined up at wide receiver. The Aggies handed off to Monte Watkins, who had a rushing touchdown a week ago. Flag comes in late. I think we're going to see Watkins touch it more this week as well, Danny.
Well, after breaking an 80-yarder last week, it really showed his wheels. And if you give him any room.
Offense number 85. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the 5. Second down.
That's our Tomas Whitford, the redshirt senior tight end from Rhode Island.
Yeah, so we'll see if we can't see the holding penalty there. But getting the ball to Monte, as you talked about, last week, 80-yarder, and he broke that open, and we knew the minute he was open, there was no one going to catch him. Expect him to see the ball more? Absolutely, because you get the ball in his hands, you put him in an open field, and there's not many that can catch him.
Aggies push back to the 20. Watkins, Thomas, and Jones. We saw this a lot a week ago. 3 running backs in. Pistol back is Watkins. Right up the middle, Star Thomas will dart in the end zone. 20 yards away, his 6th rushing touchdown in 2 years as an Aggie. And the Homer, Louisiana native helps the Aggies strike first.
Hey, one of the keys is get on the board as fast as you can and build up that lead, then you can work from that lead. It was a great job right there. This is a 3-back set that Coach showed last week with Eli Sowers, the backup quarterback running it. In this case, it was Diego still in there, and it was a give right away, Star up the gut. Look at the blocking up there. Great big hole, walking on in.
On the 49's it? Yeah.
Point after from Ethan Albertson. And it's no good. It's off the upright, and Albertson missed a short field goal a week ago from 34 yards. And well, Danny, we talked about special teams for a good chunk of last year. Hopefully this does not become an issue once again.
Yeah, you know, special teams, the kicking is really hard because if you start to let things that happened last week into your psyche, it messes you up going forward. Yes, he missed one. It was an important one, but they're all important. But in this case, it's a chip shot. You got to just get the chip shot done. And the way to solve that and to have some confidence is you got to score again and let him get on the board.
7 plays, 70 yards, 3 minutes, 24 seconds. A little bit of adversity during that opening drive, but a successful finish with a touchdown run for Star Thomas, who led the Aggies a year ago in all-purpose yards, rushing yards, and also total touchdowns. So Albertson misses the point after, and now the Aggies will kick off to Western Illinois. Albertson will kick off. Jay Parker, the lone man, back deep near the goal line for Western. Parker only 5'6", 144, but he can fly, and he will not get a return. It's going to be a touchback out to the 25-yard line.
Hey, so good start on offense. You get the ball, you have a good sustained drive. You get down there, you get points on the board. Miss the extra point, that's okay, because you have confidence now in what your offense could do. Now it's the defense's turn. Now the defense last week had a couple of good plays. We missed a pick six. We had missed some sacks. I talked to Coach earlier about it. We'll talk more about Coach Striley and some of his thoughts later. But they have the talent. Adam, we've talked about the talent. Let's see if they can't display some of that and get the players in the right spot on this jigsaw puzzle that he has back there.
And Danny, you want to see them force turnovers, right?
Yeah, that's a big point for this year for Coach Striley.
The give is to Seth Glatz, and he is swarmed immediately. Host of Aggies right there, including Sone Alpiu, redshirt freshman out of Long Beach, middle linebacker.
You know, Sone and Keyshawn and some of the other linebackers, when I talk to Coach, it's like, hey, I looked at the stats, and you can't really decide what happened in the game on the stats, but I said, I didn't see enough linebacker play. And he said, oh, you will. You'll see a lot more.
Matt Morrissey, a newcomer at quarterback, a transfer from FCS Northern Iowa. He rolls right, he's hit as he throws, and he overthrows his receiver. Good pressure. And Danny, that was Jeremiah Vessel out of Bishop Gorman High. He was everywhere last week.
He was coming in as a freshman. Look at the speed that he closes in there on that and put the pressure on the quarterback. That's what Coach was talking about. He called it his havoc read, his havoc metric. And that's one right there where the quarterback has to hurry because he's getting lots of pressure.
Vessel, a true freshman, one of the top 10 recruits in program history. He had Power 5 schools all over him, but shows the Aggies. Quarterback draw, and Morrissey is belted. Buda Paletti, watch out for him this year. Sophomore from California, a loss of 3, and WIU will have to punt.
You know, one of plays that we saw from last week where we had UMass pinned at 3rd and 11. It came to 4th and 7, and we ended up letting the quarterback sneak out. I think they had a little study on what happened there and having someone make a play. That's a great job closing in on that little draw. Quarterback keep, and he made a great play.
Aggies have a couple of sophomores at that stud position, which is a linebacker defensive end hybrid. Flag comes in before the punt from Jared Campbell.
False start. Offense number 10. That penalty means 4th down.
Well, Danny, we have to remember this is game 1 for WIU, so we could see a good chunk of penalties from them here in their opener.
Yeah, and it's certainly the jitters. You get pinned deep. You're coming to Las Cruces. You're playing away from home, and you end up just jumping a little bit.
And you're also playing an FBS, the lone FBS on FCS Western Illinois schedule this year. Campbell from just inside the end zone. This one will hang in the air. Jordan Smith will call for a fair catch inside Leatherneck territory. So the field position could not be much better. A late flag does come in, though. And the Aggies have a 7-0 advantage. Star Thomas runs it in 20 yards away. New Mexico State leads early here at Aggie Memorial.
Football going into the 2023 season, and a big reason for that is because of their finish to last season. Now the Aggies started the last season to an 0-4 start and then a 1-5 start, and the Aggies won 6 of the final 7 games a season ago and picked up hardware with a victory in the Quick Lane Bowl on December 26 in Detroit. Diego Pavia earned MVP honors in the bowl game, and the Aggies edged Bowling Green 24-19 to stay undefeated all time in the bowl games. The Aggies have now been to the postseason twice since 2017 and hope to do it again this season in their first year in Conference USA. Adam, Danny?
Thank you, Tatiana. First down carry for Star Thomas after the unsportsmanlike on the punt. That was on Keontae Glinton, so it was a 15-yard penalty, which, Danny, really hurts field position for the Aggies.
It did. They had great field position to start there, but they're still midfield. I mean, they're still okay there. It's unfortunate that you have those silly penalties, and those are the ones that coaches really have a hard time accepting.
A lot of running backs this year for head coach Jerry Kill. Jamani Jones, Star Thomas, Monte Watkins, McKylan Young, Tim Gans, Lorenzo McMillan, just to name a handful. Swinging out again for Brady, nothing doing. Tackle made on the outside by KJ Coleman. Transfer from FBS Arkansas State.
Well, it was a quick toss to the outside. KJ, great speed. Watch how fast he closes on this. The whole option here is get the ball outside, get him in open space, and let him do something, right? So we talked about his speed, but KJ had nothing to do with that. He closed really fast and gave him no room to work at all.
Loss of 2 yards on the catch for Brady. Aggies need the 49-yard line here on 3rd and 7. Pavia back to throw. Under pressure, and he can't escape. Good pressure shown by the Western Illinois defense. A sack for Garrett Steffen, playing in his 23rd career game out of Altoona, Wisconsin.
You know, watching film from last week, there was something I'm sure that the Leatherneck had seen is like, hey, put some pressure on Diego. Let's pin him in the pocket. Let's let him not get outside, because if he gets outside, he will hurt you. In this case, they brought the house and kept him pinned.
So now we're going to see Zach Haynes, the newcomer punter for the first time, transfer from SEMO, Southeast Missouri State. He was one of the positives a week ago. He had a fake punt successful. He also pinned UMass inside the 5-yard line twice a week ago in his first game as an Aggie, and the return man, Jay Parker, calls for a fair catch. The Western Illinois offense back to work when you come back.
I was in my 50s when they first diagnosed me with enlarged prostate. If you research prostate surgery, it can be scary. I think that's the big misunderstanding, when it comes to procedures like this. My advice to men my age or even younger, talk to your doctor. Life can be so much better if you'll take that first step. Well, thanks to the team at Memorial Medical Center, I'm living life the way it should be lived. and that's the Memorial difference.
It takes a strong foundation to build something that will last. The best foundation isn't always seen, but it is felt. It supports the weight of everything built upon it. With the support of alumni and friends, the New Mexico State University Foundation has been a cornerstone to our institution for over 60 years. Our commitment is unwavering. Be bold and shape the future. Visit us at alwaysanaggie.org.
When we work together, we have the power to create positive change in our communities. And that's exactly what you are doing when you join Community Rewards. Just by using your Nusenda Visa debit card, you can help support education, healthcare, the arts, environment and wildlife, or community services and support. Skip the PIN on your purchases, you'll earn cash back and help fund grants in your community. When you invest in your community, we invest in you.
Nusenda Credit Union, the power of we. Visit nusenda.org to learn more.
Welcome to the Borderplex region of El Paso, Ciudad Juarez, and Las Cruces. And the future of economic development here is dynamic and wide open. The region is vibrant, electric, and it's changing shape every day. Here in the Borderplex, where academia meets industry, our universities and top global companies are working to cultivate a highly skilled talent pipeline. Join us by expanding or relocating your business to the Borderplex region by visiting borderplexalliance.org today. 3 cities, 1 region, 1 shared vision.
Adam Young, Danny Nee, Tatiana Favela back with you from Aggie Memorial Stadium. 6-zip Aggies. Just under 8 left here in the first quarter. There's a look at Nate Dreiling, the co-defensive coordinator for the Aggies. And Danny, you spoke to him earlier this week.
I did. We had a great talk, and what a great coach, what a great motivational type dude. And so I think the guys really want to play for him. We'll have more about that in just a sec.
Heavy pressure. Morrissey gets it loose as he's hit. Catch is made by A.J. Coons, the junior transfer from South Dakota State. He gains 9.
Well, so here's what Coach Dreiling was saying about last week. You know, they had a lot of guys in positions that they were trying to get lots of people, lots of time on the fields, and maybe it didn't work as the way he wanted it. So there was a few players that he said, hey, these guys are just going to be on the field. They're going to get on the field, and they're going to stay on the field. And some of those guys, those linebackers up front, so I expect to see a lot of pressure just like we did on that last play.
Morrissey will pull it, and he gets the first down. He pulled it instead of handing it off to Torrance Farmer, the running back. So Matt Morrissey, the big quarterback, 6'4", 223. He explodes for 10 and gets the first down for WIU.
You know, Coach's goal was really some gap control up front. So if you look at the up front there, we had a little twist stunt that we put in there, and gap control. We had one linebacker step to the right, kind of get out of position just a little bit. I think that's what the basis of his defense and all defenses: get to your gap, sustain your gap, get to the right place, make a play.
Stretch handoff to Glatz. And he tries to squirt forward past midfield for an extra yard or 2. He does, into Aggie territory. Gets a half dozen. How do you sustain 4 quarters of good defense? Because I felt like, Danny, a week ago, they played pretty well for the first 3 quarters.
Yeah, I think they did, and they just couldn't hold on. There was a couple of breaks. Part of that is you have to make some of the plays that you're in position to make. We had a couple of sacks that we gave up on that we just couldn't pull down. We missed a pick 6. That's part of being able to sustain and keep your defense ready to go, is that you have to create a turnover and get off the field.
Morrissey, the quarterback, 5 games in 2 years at Northern Iowa. A little trickery, end around. And the Aggies able to sniff it out. Andre Selden. Donald McKinney had the football. The transfer from San Jose State. The Aggies not fooled. A loss of 2.
Now you get a little double reverse action here. You trick, and you got a couple of backers that ends to bite, and so you saw him go really low. You'll see him going low across and miss the reverse coming back around. However, the maturity of Andre Selden out there at corner, he's a great guy to have out there. He wasn't fooled, and he closed and shut that thing down.
Leathernecks near the Aggie 45-yard line. Motion man is the tight end, Jack White, playing in his 33rd career game. Morrissey tosses out of the reach of Glatz. He had him. Coverage from the linebacker, Keyshawn Elliott. And Western Illinois will have to punt after a pretty good start to that drive.
Keyshawn Elliott is one of the guys coaches mentioned that he's got to stay out on the field. He's got to get more playing time. That's part of the sustainment that you asked about earlier. He's one of the guys that had a great 22. He is an absolute fantastic player. Got to get more time on the field for him.
One of the key guys, too, that Jerry Kill is able to keep. You know, the Aggies had a fear that Keyshawn Elliott might try to parlay that freshman year into a Power 5 opportunity, but he has been true to this program after playing a ton a year ago. Backspin there on the punt for Jared Campbell. And the Aggies will have the football inside the 20-yard line. They scored on their first drive, not so much on drive number 2. 32-yard punt for Campbell. Pavia and the Aggie offense back to work after these words. Done for the second straight week. Diego Pavia, 4 for 4, Danny, 42 yards. Do you feel like he's not trying to do too much on the first 2 drives?
Yeah, I think that coach is really putting him in a position to succeed. The last one, they just outnumbered us on the line, but I think he's calling a good game, and Diego's doing quite well back there.
Aggies trying to get the running game going. Flag in again. Heavily penalized game so far in the first quarter. Once again, the referee is Rodney Burnett.
Ball start, offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's our left guard, Shamar Jackson, one of the newcomers on this more experienced offensive line, a transfer from Iowa Western JUCO. Offensive line played very well a week ago. Only 2 penalties as a team. The Aggies had some good moments running the football. Overall, this offensive line, which improved a lot as the season went on a year ago, has been good early on this year, and a lot of credit goes to the coach, Andrew Mitchell, who coaches the offensive line. Johnny Jones on the carry. Picks up 5 yards.
Yeah, Coach Mitchell was another coach that I had an opportunity to spend some time with, and we talked about a lot of things. And one of the areas that we really thought that he really was big on his guys in his room is that he has a lot of players, not just 4 or 5. It always seems like in the past, Adam, there's always been 4 players, 5 players, but the depth wasn't there. He was feeling more like the depth was there, that they could do more.
4:55.
Clock was still moving, so they're going to reset the game clock to 4:55 and add about 20 seconds onto it. Yeah, I felt like that unit, Danny, just kept on improving a year ago, and they had a lot of puzzle pieces they were trying to fit a year ago, but now Kanan Yarrow, more experienced at this level. Now AJ Vaipulu isn't a freshman anymore.
Game clock operator, 4:55, please.
They feel like Shiaz Pete, the left tackle, Danny, is an NFL talent down the road. So overall, this offensive line has the chance to be pretty good.
Yeah, and they couldn't say enough about Yarrow up front there, calling that offense on the line. Just a great, mature player to lead that group.
So the Aggies got those 5 yards back on the penalty on the previous run by Jones. We're going to see a lot of 2-back, 3-back looks. Try to utilize that stable of running backs that Jerry Kill has. The option, Pavia will pitch it late to Watkins. Shoved out of bounds. KJ Coleman, it might have been a late hit. That was awfully close. Flag comes in.
On the carry, flag of the play.
After the play, personal foul. Hit out of bounds the defense, number 1. 15 penalty.
So you see a little read option in there, and it's a good play. There's the extra hit right there that they got penalized for. Read option, bring it down the line. As soon as they close on Diego pitches the ball, and you get the corner there and pick up some good yardage. Those are just the basics of a good RPO. You take it out there, you see who's the line. If someone gets you, you pitch it, and you just take what they give you.
So 5-yard run and then 15 yards tacked on to it. Penalty was on J.J. Ross, the transfer from Eastern Illinois, a former freshman All-American at the FCS level. Right back to Jones. Jones, extra yards after the initial hit. Shimani Jones still on his feet, finally tripped up in the third level. Oh, Danny, he almost broke loose. Willie Jones, the transfer from Bowling Green, saved a touchdown.
Oh, you know, it's the cutback that makes it hard. And at 6'2", 225, you can see how fleet of foot he really is. You see him in here, he's taking his time. He sees the hole open, and you can see right there's a big lane to the backside. He cuts it back across. That's that one tackle. Without that tackle, he walks into the end zone. And that's just tough from a defense because you're running hard to get to the pursuit point, and sometimes you just over-pursue.
17 yards in that run for Jones, 34 in total so far in the first quarter. Aggies trying to extend their lead, under 4 left here in the first quarter. Pavia unloads, he has a man in stride, and he overthrows Hudson. Looking for his 3rd touchdown in 2 games.
Wow. That's a great throw right there. It's just a little long. You know, it didn't come down with the TD, but he had him. He saw that he had beat the defense. He got behind the corners, safeties back there. Lots of protection up front, and he knows he's just got to lay it up and get it out there. Now, the mistake that you don't want to do is you don't want to leave it short, right, and have a pick at the end there. So he threw it a little deep, maybe just a little too much chilling on that.
Pavia had long touchdown throws a week ago to Jordan Parker of 40 yards, and Hudson as well. Pistol back Jones. They fake it, rolling out Pavia. He can really run. He showed that a year ago. And he completes it to Cordell David, only his 2nd catch in 2 games. He needs to be used way more. He was the top receiver a year ago.
Yeah, last year he got 4 touchdowns, 343 yards. Diego is at his best when he's out on the perimeter. He's making things up. He's getting it going. He's seeing who's open. He had the tight end, but he also saw that Cordell was tiptoeing on that sidelines, and he threw it in there. Gives him a big smile, says, I can pull that down, and he did. Great throw right there.
12-yard hookup for the first down, so a fresh set of downs with just over 3 minutes left here in the first quarter. Lone Aggie touchdown came from Star Thomas, and then extra point was missed by Ethan Albertson. Jamani Jones again. He's dragging tacklers. He's dragging KJ Coleman right there for 12 yards. And Jamani's approaching 50 here in the first quarter. The Aggies go with tempo.
I like it. This is what you have to do. Don't let them get set up. Get up there and get your play going.
And Western Illinois did not like the tempo, so they call a timeout.
Western Illinois, that's their first. 30-second timeout.
KJ Cole's everywhere making tackles for Western Illinois. Without that, you know, those are touchdowns right there. We see 2 of them that we could have had.
Sports Accessories is the official licensed merchandise provider for the Aggies, and they have the best Aggie gear in town at the best price. Check out their showroom in Las Cruces or visit the online store at theaggieshop.com. Do you like this tempo right now offensively, Danny?
I do. I like when there's tempo because that I think coaches believe that part of the starting slow is that you are getting too slow out of the huddle. You make it too slow to the line of scrimmage. You don't give Diego enough time to read what the defense is doing. So part of that is you get up there and you get the play going right away. The other thing is Jamani, man, he's a workhorse. He's a big guy at 6'2". So great blocking. Look at the hole that he had there. That's just good job up front there and dominating on that O-line.
5 carries, 45 yards for Jones. Pavia 5 for 6 through the air. Ball is at the 21, first down and 10. Tight end Tyler DeVera lined up at wide receiver. 3 receivers right. Brady and David next to DeVera, who's in motion, right side of the formation. Pavia hands it off to Jones, and he is stonewall, nowhere to go. Good job up front defensively by Western, including Mike Cardilli, the linebacker, the redshirt freshman from Mokina, Illinois. No gain on the play.
You know, an offense coordinator, one of the things you have to do is you have to start set them up. You have to give them some look, and then from that, you have to be able to do something with it. So you end up doing things like dive, counter, reverse, dive, counter. Could be a pass, could set it up. And that's what that last one is. You got to set that up so everyone is sucking in, and it gives you a window to throw the ball downfield.
McKylan Young and Watkins, the 2 running backs. Pavia will fake it, and he's going to run it himself. So that was a run by design there for Diego Pavia, so it's going to bring up 3rd down for the Aggie offense.
You know, part of the offense of what Coach Beck is trying to do is that first down, that second down. Those are really becoming big downs. I think everyone now in football is saying, look, without a good first or second down, you end up really putting yourself in a tough third down situation. So, those first 2 downs are important, and you have to make good calls to get positive yards.
No tight ends, no running backs, empty backfield. The Aggies go 5 wide receivers on 3rd down and 6 from the 17. David, Brady, Smith, Johnson, and Hudson, the 5 wide receivers, and Jerry Kill has to use a timeout. And boy, is he unhappy, Danny.
Yeah, something he didn't quite like there.
New Mexico State, they're first, 30 seconds.
He certainly wanted to get that play off, and he was not happy with Diego or anyone else. But, from Diego's perspective, he's trying to get in there and read the defense. And maybe what happens is he's waiting too long on that read. But I think Kill liked what he had a good play called, and said, let's just run the play. Don't overanalyze it.
One of the issues Jerry Kill had a week ago, too, Danny, was the Aggies had issues getting in and out of the huddle. That was a problem last week, and they were hoping to correct that during practice this week. It was a big issue last week, and Jerry Kill, we saw moments like that where he was storming onto the field where he had to use timeouts when he didn't want to have to use them, and unfortunately has to burn one late here in the first quarter.
Jerry Kill, he is a hands-on head coach. I mean, there's certain head coaches where you have the OL coordinator, defense coordinator make the plays, and you sit back and you say, okay, I kind of get that. I see where you're going. Others, they're in all the way. Jerry Kill, he's in.
Running back Jimani Jones on 3rd and 6. Aggies struggled on 3rd down a week ago. Pavia, as the pocket collapses, he throws it. He has 2 men right there. It's caught by Chris Bellamy. Bryce Childress was right next to Bellamy. Pick your poison. It's Bellamy who hauls it in for the first down.
It looked like they both had it, didn't they? They both had it, and one gave it to the other one. But the thing about that play right there is that Western Illinois is trying to pin Diego, keep Diego in, don't let him do anything. Diego was pinned, but let's see how he's able to get the pass off. There's nowhere to go to the right. He's straying to the left just a bit, just a small window to get that pass off. What a great job by Diego.
Bellamy gets 11, 1st and goal from the 6. David in motion. Running back is Jones. Jimani diving forward. He gets across the 5-yard line down to the 4. He picks up 2 yards with the first quarter clock winding down.
This is a good sustained drive for the Aggies right here. Putting a lot together, got some pass balls, a lot of run in there.
A different look now. Diego Pavia goes off. Redshirt sophomore Eli Stowers is now the quarterback. We saw him used in some packages, and it was successful a week ago. Stowers can really run. And that's all for the first quarter.
That's the end of the first quarter.
Adam Young, Danny Nee, Tatiana Favela back with you from Aggie Memorial Stadium as we get ready to start quarter number 2. The Aggies trying to punch it in right here with Eli Stowers at quarterback. 6'4", 225-pound redshirt sophomore, former high school consensus 4-star recruit, a transfer from Texas A&M. He had 18 yards on the ground a week ago, did not attempt to pass though. From the 4, on 2nd down and goal. 3 running backs. Pistol back is Watkins, Jones, and Thomas, the other 2 running backs. All 4 guys right here can run the football. Stowers will pull it, and he angles into the end zone. Eli Stowers, the son of the former Aggie great, runs it in 4 yards away.
Adam, how smooth is he? I talked to Coach Beck about this, and he gets back there, and Diego and him are little different runners. And I was telling Coach Beck, he's so smooth. Watch how he makes this so effortlessly. He has a good read in there. I'm going to keep it, and I'm going to step in there. He's got that big stride. It makes it look like he's just gliding. He's just smooth. It's just nice in there. Great play. Great call, Coach.
Eli, the son of former Aggie defensive back Donald Stowers, played for the Aggies 91 through 93. He had 10 career picks in 3 years. So Dad played defense, Eli plays offense, and he has a bright future, Danny.
He does, and I talked to Coach Beck about that. I said, "Hey, Coach Beck, I like the setup. I like using all your backs. That's one of your assets that you have. Your main attributes is you got 3 great running backs, 4 actually. And so, what do you do? How do you mix it up?" I said, "I got to get more plays in there. I got to get Eli on the field. He's a great kid, a smart kid, hard worker." And I said, "He looks so smooth, so fast." And he said, "He is." Different runners, but they'll always be working on something new for Eli to just bring him along through the season. I think that's a great idea because you can see right there what a great runner he is.
Last year, Danny, the Aggies had a lot of inexperience at quarterback with freshman Gavin Frakes. Diego Pavia was playing FBS football for the first time. Now there's pretty good depth at quarterback with Stowers, Pavia, Gavin Frakes is still around, and then Blaze Berlowitz, who might be the future down the road. He's a true freshman out of Cushing, Oklahoma, who has a very bright future. So they also give the defense, Danny, good looks in practice, because when you have depth at positions like quarterback, you give scout team good looks, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I think that just says something about the program you're building, because you have these players that are coming in. You got a lot of talent there, and you got a lot of depth in all of these positions, and that just builds on a very competitive atmosphere where everyone performs at a higher level. But having lots of players come here and being ready to step up and make it happen, I think that's part of what Coach Kill does in rebuilding programs.
Long sustained drive, as you saw right there. 81 yards it covered, 11 plays. Leathernecks quarterback Matt Morrissey back to work out of Elmhurst, Illinois. One of the team captains this year for WIU as they play their season opener. Morrissey will throw, and it's almost intercepted. Oh boy. Dylan Early was there, and so was Andre Selden. The Aggies had close chances like that a week ago where they were an inch or two away from the pick.
I know Coach Ryland is really looking for one of these things, one of these turnovers to really come through. In this case, you have a quarterback. He breaks out, but watch how fast we put pressure on him right there from the corner. Lots of pressure. Tip the ball, the old tip drill. Man, we almost had that.
Tyler Martinez got his hands on it. Early and Selden were waiting for the deflection. 2nd down and 10 for WIU. Nowhere to go there in the run. It was Ludovic Choquette in his 4th year at WIU. He only gets 3. He's a senior from Quebec.
And looking at that last play, we see a lot of Aggies flying around making plays. We saw Keyshawn Allen putting pressure on. He was the guy bringing the pressure. I like to see that. Keyshawn's a great asset to have in there and put pressure on the quarterback to make him do something. That's how you get those turnovers. He's going to do something that's out of his comfort zone.
Western Illinois 0 for 2 on 3rd down tonight. Empty backfield for Morrissey, and a timeout is called by the Aggie defense. Nate Reiling did not like that look.
Timeout. New Mexico State, that's their second 30-second timeout.
It's a good timeout. So here you are in the game. You got a 13-0 lead. You got the momentum. You can feel the momentum. I mean, the crowd was really into that last series as well.
Yeah.
And so if you're not comfortable with what happens out on the field, you don't have the right personnel in there. Maybe he moved some people around he shouldn't have. And I think that's okay to call the timeout before something happens where you give up a huge explosive plays. And we'll talk about the number of explosive plays that hurt the Aggies last week.
Danny, what's your temperature on the expectations right now for the fan base and from the alums? You mentioned the crowd.
Yeah.
A win tonight gives them a 7-2 mark in their previous 9, so that's quite a stretch.
It is. I think it's very clear. The expectation is that Coach is going to put together 2 good back-to-back winning seasons. That's what the expectation is.
Trying to go to back-to-back bowl games. Boy, has it been a while since that's been done. The fix-it guy, Jerry Kill, at the helm of the program. Empty backfield again for Matt Morrissey. 3rd and 7. Line to gain the 35. WIU trying to convert on 3rd down for the first time, and they do so. It's Jay Parker, the 5'6", 144-pound receiver who hauls it in for the first down, and a late flag comes in.
Tackle made by number 11, Dylan Early.
Looks like it's Dylan Early on the coverage there.
Foul. Targeting. Defense number 11. That play is under review.
That is Dylan Early, the junior out of Houston. We get a second look.
Dylan came up. He saw what was happening in there, and I think what he needed to do is try to take away that little slant and just couldn't get it done.
Early, one of the returners in the defensive backfield for NM State. Andre Selden, the leader back there. He's also arguably the leader of the defense right now. Early's had a really good career. Now the Aggies have depth behind him if he is kicked out of this game, but you don't want to lose him this early. Nice job of hanging onto the football there by Jay Parker.
Yeah, that's a great catch right there, because he did take a little pop in there.
Parker, not a big guy, but he's slippery. He had 14 catches a year ago, 149 yards receiving. Transfer from Austin Peay. A ton of transfers for WIU, and their head coach, Myers Hendrickson, in his second year. He played for the Leathernecks. Played for his dad, Mark, in fact, in Macomb, Illinois. What do you see, Danny?
I'm not sure. I don't think there's anything there. I think it's part of the football move, and I just don't see it. But
you played DB. How hard would that have been back in your day if this would have been part of it?
Oh, they'd have thrown me out immediately. There's no doubt about it. So things have changed, and probably rightfully so, right? So you want protection is the most important thing, but I don't know. That's a tough call right there.
After review, there is no foul for targeting.
All right, good news for Dylan Early. He will get to stay in the game. Aggie defense still trying to force their first turnover this year.
Right. Too many penalties, right? So we see this already. So these are the things that are going to come out as the game progresses. It's like you just have too many of these little penalties like that one that really hurts you. You have them stopped. You got to make a play on one down, and then you can get into a situation of getting the ball back, but you just can't hold on. You end up creating a penalty, and it's just too much early on.
Parker got 11 on that catch and run. So first down and 10 now for WIU, their first down so far in the football game. In motion is A.J. Coons. Morrissey will hand it off. Goes right back to Choquette. 26th career game for him. Pretty inexperienced running back group, at least inexperienced with WIU. But Choquette has the most experience in the backfield for the Leathernecks.
Great gap control right there. We saw all the Aggies in the right gaps, standing their ground, not getting pushed out of that gap. That's what you have to do if you have a gap responsibility. You get in there. Do not let them push you out. Just squat down, make sure you hold your ground. And then we had lots of Aggies to the ball. That's what we'd like to see.
Linebackers right now for the Aggies, Keyshawn Elliott and Tyler Martinez. Back to Choquette, trying to shimmy through a hole. Nice run there on second down and 7. It's going to bring up third and short. It looks like 3rd and 1 coming up for WIU.
You know, sometimes it feels like you get everyone to the right spot, but you just can't find the ball, and it's very hectic in the middle there. In this case, you have people in the right spot, but somehow he just sneaks through there and picks up some good positive yardage.
3rd and 1, we'll see it. WIU runs the football again on 3rd and 1. Choquette still the running back. 2 tight end look. Jack White, number 0. Brandon Lanier, number 87, a transfer from Austin Peay. Morrissey will throw. He has a man, and it's caught. That's the running back, Choquette. And he's wrapped up by Keyshawn Elliott. And he wasn't ever fully down, so his sideline was telling him to keep on running.
Well, a situation where you get a flood out there. You get too many people in one area and you can't account for everyone. Sneak them in there behind everyone, not seeing what's happening, and just dump the ball as quick as you can. You see everyone moving left, lots of traffic going that way. Webb saw him coming out of the backfield, just didn't have enough time to run him down.
19-yard catch and run for the running back from Quebec, Ludovic Choquette. Leathernecks only averaged 14 points per game a year ago. Jet sweep to Parker, trying to find the perimeter. Broke a tackle initially. J.J. Derville couldn't quite get him down. So this Leathernecks offense a year ago really struggled, but right now they're finding a rhythm here, Danny.
They are. And I think we see that we get a lot of pressure from the corners even, and we're getting close to the backfield. You can see right here we're almost getting a tackle for a loss. That's what coach is looking for, and want more tackle for losses. And we just give up that corner, and he makes positive yards out of it.
WIU a year ago, bottom 10 in the country at the FCS level in rushing yards per game. So they struggled a year ago. Morrissey will pull it, and he has nowhere to go. Taken down by Sterling Webb. Also Gabe Peterson right there. Gain of 4 for the quarterback, Morrissey.
It's a good sustained drive here for Western Illinois. So this is where the Aggies got to really hold their neck and they got to dig in. It's 3rd and short. And this is where we let UMass out of a couple packages that were 3rd and short, 3rd and mid. And this is where I'd like to see Coach Defense really putting more pressure on the quarterback. Come get him a little bit.
Ball at the 25, 3rd down and 2. It's a very inexperienced kicking unit, by the way, for Western. It doesn't matter. Catch is made by Glatz, and he's upended. 1st and goal for Western Illinois. Tackle made by Dylan Early.
Throw it where they're rushing from, and there's no one there, and that's exactly what they did. Coach did bring some pressure, which I think is the right thing to do, and they just dumped it over top of the pressure and got someone sneaking out of it. So you see him right there coming off the left side of your screen, but no one's to account for back out of backfield.
So the running backs, Choquette and now Glatz, catching the football and doing some damage on this drive. Deep back is Glatz. They give it to him. Running straight up the middle, and he runs into Dion Wilson Jr., not the guy you want to run into. Big transfer from Arizona, and Glatz only gets 1.
Yeah, Dion at 6'5", 300. You're right, Adam. That's not the guy that you want to run into. Stayed his ground, and he was covering a lot of ground at 6'5", 300.
Is the goal right here? Hold them to a field goal?
Yeah, absolutely. This is your goal line package. You got to really see what they want. Last week they had too many times that they got in there. 5 for 5. They're scoring in the red zone last week. Every time UMass got in, they scored. Now you have to start holding them down to at least the field goal.
In motion is McKinney. Ball at the 5-yard line for Morrissey. Swings it out for Glatz again, trying a low catch, and it's broken up. Dylan Early's been active on this possession. Glatz was open initially. Early, able to deflect it late.
Yeah, you can see what they found here. They found that they're going to take a back and have a little wheel route, run him out of the backfield a little bit because we have too much attention. We're trying to hold the quarterback and pin him, and then he's just sneaking out at random. In that case, safety's got to come help, and he's just a little short throw for the quarterback.
Empty backfield, 5-receiver look for WIU from the 5-yard line. Heavy pressure. Morrissey hit as he throws, and he completes it to Jalen Jackson for the touchdown. How about Morrissey hanging in there, unloading to Jackson, who was wide open. But Danny, he was under heavy pressure.
That was a lot of pressure. The coaches elected to go get him. Let's go get him. Let's not just sit there. So right up the gut, you come screaming up there. He sneaks around the back top of the end zone. No one saw him. He stood in there long enough to get that pass off, even with the pressure.
Point after for the Leathernecks. And it is good. So Western Illinois cuts into the Aggie advantage early on in quarter 2. Provider for the Aggies. Find them online at theaggieshop.com. And by Western Heritage Bank. Connected to the community and to you. Find them online at westernheritagebank.com. Adam Young, Danny Nee, Tatiana Favela back with you. Game number 2 for the Aggies on this brand new turf here at Aggie Memorial. Season opener for Western Illinois. Long drive for them, 12 plays, 75 yards, over 6 minutes of time. 5-yard touchdown catch for Jalen Jackson. And Jonathan Brady will get his second return tonight. And he's just past the 20, up to the 22-yard line. So Western Illinois hanging around their lone FBS opponent this year, Danny, and they're playing with some confidence now.
They are. They had a long, sustained drive. They found a few things that work. One of them in particular was running backs that are coming out of that little wheel route out of the backfield, and we're just losing sight of them. So those are the things you got to clean up. I see the coaches down there chalking it up, getting that chalkboard out there and seeing what we can do. But the Aggies in offense have to answer back.
Touchdown, punt, touchdown. The 3 drives so far for NM State. 7 plays, 3 plays, and then 11 plays. And the quarterback is still Eli Stowers. So Stowers had the touchdown run on the previous possession, and now Jerry Kill leaves him in. He gains 2 on the run.
You know, when you run that set they have there with those 3 backs, although we only got 2 yards, I think what happens is when he becomes a bigger threat, they're going to come down on him, and it's going to leave the pitch wide open.
Stowers pulls it, his first throw of the year, and he overthrows Hudson. Coverage there from J.J. Ross, the transfer from Eastern Illinois. So Stowers played well, Danny, a week ago, but he did not have to throw the football.
And I talked to Coach about that. I said, so we're going to see him throw? What are we going to see him do? He said, you know, we're working on all additional plays that we're going to be adding as the year goes on. There's a lot that we can do with them. This is one of the wrinkles they had. It's run that option in there and then pull the option and go for the pass. It was covered, so I'm glad he missed it wide or deep. So Diego's going to have to do a little bit more.
And now the Aggies rotating quarterbacks a bit. Diego Pavia back in on 3rd and 7. Rolling right. He's hit as he throws. Has a man hauled in. Jordan Smith, his 2nd catch in 2 weeks. Transfer from Fullerton JUCO. Out of Slidell, Louisiana. Gained 16.
I like Diego. He's a gamer. You know, he comes out there, get a little tempo right now, right? So he rolls to the right. You'll see that he's like trying to get outside and break containment. It's not going to happen. So what's he do? He just said, fine, I'll stop and throw the ball.
Right back to the ground. Big hole for Star Thomas. He gets to the 3rd level. Danny, he is lighter this year. Lost some weight during the offseason. He looks great. He's primed for a huge year.
Well, all the running backs, all 3 running backs are doing a great job. Now we're going to see him try to get Monte in there as well. Star, Jamani, Monte, those are 3 big threats that you have in your running back core.
And then redshirt freshman Mykylin Young, also Tim Gans, both pushing for playing time. Star Thomas will stay in. 3 receivers top side, nobody bottom side of your screen. And now Thomas will motion to Diego's right. Now he's back left as Diego changes the play call. Designed run for the quarterback, Pavia. Maybe gets 1.5 yards. I'll call it 2. And it's good enough for a first down as he gets 2 yards and moves the chains.
You know, one of the things that Diego brings is awareness of where he is in the game. In this case, it wasn't a play that was going to break for a touchdown, but he knew where the first down marker was, and it's important to keep the drive alive. So what does he do? He ducks his head, and he gets the first down, and that's what you have from a mature quarterback.
Diego listed as a senior, but he's actually only a junior because of the COVID year, so he does have 1 year left after this year, making his 10th career start as an Aggie. He's won a lot of football games here. He pulls it, swings it out for Monte Watkins. Had his steam for Watkins. Boy, can he fly. He showed that off a week ago. Transfer from TCU, who went by Amante a year ago. Now he goes by just Monte. And a nice catch and run for Monte Watkins.
Yeah, get the ball to Monte on the outside here. So you see a little read option. Dump it out as fast as you can. Get him on the corner and see if he can't make something big happen.
New tight end in the ball game, Trevor Stevens comes in. Aggies also have good depth at tight end this year with Stevens and Tiavasue and Whitford and De Vera. Pavia on first down. He'll give it to Star Thomas. Plunges up the middle. Tough guy to take down. He's across the 35 down to the 34. Gain of 4.
Good first down. We just talked earlier about the importance of having a good first down, second down, 4 yards on first down. That's a good start. That's a good showing. That puts you in good position for second and ends up with a shorter third if you get that. So first and second down is very important.
Pavia on second down. RPO, he'll pull it wide open. Jonathan Brady and the Turf Monster got him. Oh man, he had daylight. He just couldn't stay on his feet, and he knows it.
Yeah, he knows it. It was a little high pass. It was a little bit higher than he wanted, so that kind of led into it. But look how wide open Jonathan is. This is a quick one. We have a read right here. Diego sees him. He's breaking open. He's wide open. Just get him the ball. Oh, man.
I just couldn't quite keep his balance. Brady's been active here in half one. Under 4 left. Aggies down to the 10-yard line. Three running back look again. Pistol back is Watkins. They stretch it out for Thomas, and he rumbles inside the 5-yard line. He's all the way down to the 4. He gets a half dozen. Might see a couple tight ends here as well as Tomas Whitford comes in.
It's another group that I talked to Coach Beck about. It's like, Coach, you got 4 great tight ends. You know, how are they going to get in the mix? And he said, yeah, I have an issue. I got to try to get everyone in there and get some good plays in. Tomas, what a great blocker as well, but he can catch the ball sneaking out of the line.
Quarterback Eli Stowers, who ran it in for a touchdown earlier, hands it off to Jones. Nowhere to go. Might have lost a yard right there. Aggies 2 for 2 in the red zone, as you see right there, trying to extend their 6-point lead with under 3 left here in the first half. Jones did lose 1 yard, so the ball back to the 5-yard line. Tight end comes out of the game as Whitford comes out and Hudson comes in. There is a flag down on the play. Some confusion right now from the officials trying to figure out what the flag was all about.
There's no foul for illegal substitution by the defense. There was 11 players on the field.
So they pick up the laundry. And now the Aggies will have 3rd down and goal from the 5-yard line. Who do you go to here, Danny?
I think you stretch it out and you run it to the wide side of the field, and I think you, if you have Eli in there, you give him the option to come in there, either pitch the ball or keep it, but spread him out a little bit more and keep it out of the middle.
Stowers, the quarterback, on 3rd and goal. Thomas to his left, Jones to his right. Pistol back is Watkins. Stowers pulls it. It's the option. He pitches late, and it's Monte Watkins' 2nd touchdown this year. Good decision by Eli Stowers.
Yeah, that's a great read right there. That's your basic. I'm going to come back this way on the read. I'm going to see what I have. They're trying to spread him out, make him really thin, and they came to get him. And as soon as he saw that, he stepped, pitched the ball. Monte turns the corner, and it's walking on in.
Danny, when was the last time we saw option football around here?
Right? It's just like grinding out.
Athletics. On July 1st, the Aggies officially became Conference USA members, and that was a big addition, especially for football. Now, since 2018, Aggie football had been independent without a league, and now Aggie football has a conference home, and expectations are coming with it. The Aggies are picked to finish 5th in the 9-team Conference USA in 2023. Aggie fans will surely enjoy seeing their team picked a spot ahead of rival UTEP. The preseason favorite is Western Kentucky, with Liberty right behind them. The Aggies beat Liberty a year ago in Virginia, and they'll try to do the same next week when they travel to Liberty for their Conference USA opener. Adam, Danny?
Thank you, Tatiana. Liberty victorious earlier today. They defeated Bowling Green by 10. I don't know if you saw any of that game, Danny, but Liberty looked pretty good. New head coach Hugh Freeze no longer there, and that'll be a tough test as the Aggies try to head to Lynchburg next week and win there for the 2nd straight year.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there. But hey, you got to pick up a win here. You got to improve, and just each week it's a little by little. Liberty, they're tough to play up there.
Saw that preseason poll. Jacksonville State picked towards the bottom. They're 2-0. Rich Rodriguez, the veteran head coach, doing good things for Jacksonville State in their first year at the FBS level. They beat UTEP a week ago. East Tennessee State is who they beat earlier today. Morrissey, after a good possession on the previous drive, hooks up again with his wide receiver, Jay Parker. This one for 13. That last drive was really, really sharp for Morrissey and Western, Danny.
He was, and I think a lot of it is he's getting rid of the ball very quickly. Right there, we brought a little pressure, hoping to get to him to affect him. but he's getting rid of the ball so fast. It's 1, 2, 3, boom. Paul is out.
Morrissey, quick drop, quick strike. Another connection, this one to McKinney, the San Jose State transfer, as he picks up 6, and the Leathernecks go with tempo with 1:40 left here in the first half.
Second down and 4.
Morrissey transferred in from the same school that produced Kurt Warner, Northern Iowa. He'll heave it downfield, and it's out of bounds as he just got rid of it. 12 plays, 75 yards, and a touchdown on the previous drive, and Morrissey was a large part of it.
Lots of confidence there, right? So reading well. When he sees pressure, he's throwing back into the pressure. If he has time to sit back there, he's making good throws. Even where he's taking lots of pressure and to get a hit on him, he's still releasing the ball with confidence, and it's getting there. So it makes it tough. Now Coach Dreiling is really caught in between hard spot here. Do you go get him or do you sit back? We saw the last few plays where they're sitting back. If you sit back too long, he'll just nickel and dime you the whole way down there with a minute 28 left in the second quarter.
Western Illinois 4 for 6 on a third down. They need the 48, and they get the 48 and then some. Up to midfield. Catch is made again by McKinney.
Lots of pressure, but they're just not getting there. That ball was coming out really fast, and a great throw, and a great, even with pressure in his face, and it was a great throw, great catch.
Morrissey now 8 for 13 for 81 yards, a touchdown, no turnovers. Looking right, throws right. Catch is made by Jalen Jackson before he's belted quickly by Glinton and Selden. Gain of 7.
Last week, Linton had one that hit his hands, and I thought he can walk into the end zone. This would be a nice time for one of those right now where he's got a break on. But it still feels like we're sitting back just a little bit because we're putting pressure up front, so you have to sit back and not give up anything easy, and we're caught in the middle.
Morrissey pumps and throws it away out of bounds. Closest receiver to him was Taj Sanders. Throws it into the Aggie sideline. Third down and short with 37 seconds left.
Big third down right here. The last play, Coach faked the rush like he was going to bring lots of pressure and ended up just rushing 3, dropping everyone else. There was nowhere to go with the ball. So let's see what he dials up this time around.
The coach is Myers Hendrickson, 2011 WIU grad. Former wide receiver for the Leathernecks. Catch is made for a first down for Taj Sanders, sophomore from Georgia. Had a good year last year as a freshman.
You know, those receivers are just driving off the defensive back, so they drive them hard, and then they just stop, turn around. The ball's on track right there, and they're just going down the field just a little by little.
Leathernecks awfully successful now on third down, and that'll be a point of emphasis at halftime. Receiver made the catch. Yeah, what a catch there by Sanders. I don't know how he kept a foot in. Leathernecks might have a shot at the end zone coming up with 19 seconds left. Gain of 13 for Sanders. Sanders on the near side, covered by Selden. Good matchup down there. Sanders 5'10", Andre Selden only 5'9". First down and 10 from the 22. Morrissey throws it left, and he throws it out of bounds.
Boy, I thought Keyshawn Elliott, who was on the rush right there, 44, I thought he was going to get to him, right? Turned around and get a little spin move in there. Still was holding the ball, almost got to him.
You mentioned this earlier, the kicking game is inexperienced for Western Illinois if it gets to that. So they're going to have an interesting situation potentially coming up. Well, they still have 2 timeouts left, but 13 seconds left. And they're at the 22. They trail by 13. They're going to hand it off to Choquette. Catches the Aggies off guard. Kirkland can't make the tackle, and running in is Ludovic Choquette. He broke the tackle of Devlin Kirkland. Touchdown, WIU.
I have shades of UMass right there where we had him pinned last week, and the same thing here. We get up there, you got to make a play. We have 2 Aggies fall down. You have 2 more can't make a play, someone goes over top. It's just bad tackling right there.
Morrissey in his first start with WIU.
Wow. I mean, he's done a great job. We put pressure on him. We haven't been able to get to him, and when we do, he's making passes. He's running the ball. He's very calm and collective. He's had a great game.
Former JUCO All-American at Trinity Valley. Then he went to Northern Iowa, played 2 years there. Only played in 5 combined games in 2 years. 11 for 18, 117, no mistakes, no picks, 1 touchdown in that first half for Morrissey. And a flubber high in the air, and it is caught or incomplete. They're going to say it's incomplete, almost snatched in by Seth Glatz.
Wow, Adam, let me just say, defensively, this is worrisome because whenever there's a ball that's a jump ball, you automatically think right away it's got to be a defensive ball. Lots of pressure, so he just lobbed it up there. We have this thing. You got a hand on there. You have to make a you got to pull it down. Otherwise, someone else will, and they almost did. Lots of pressure on the quarterback. I see that Coach Dryling is going to that. He's not going to let him sit back there and be comfortable.
Glatz had it in his fingertips. Now he runs on second down and pushes ahead near the 30. 4-yard pickup for Glatz out of Morton, Illinois, in the Peoria, Illinois area.
You know, the other thing I'd like to see the Aggies do defensively is put a little more pressure on the outside. So when you get on the outside, if you can't run the ball, you're going to have to start throwing it. They've been successful doing that, but we can't be sitting back. We've got to get in their face and play some tough defense up front. The other thing is, hey, let's get the defense linemen, get their big paws up there, knock something down out of the air. You got to make something happen. You got to make a play.
No turnovers either side in half one. The Aggie defense still has not forced a turnover in the first 6 quarters of football this year. Heavy pressure, and Morrissey has to throw it away. A pair of Aggies right there, Nikhil Webb-Walker, as well as Gabe Peterson, 2 guys in their second year in the program.
I think Coach had him fired up at halftime because right before half, I saw him pacing on the sidelines, and I know he wasn't happy with the effort, especially from a tackling perspective. In this case, he's bringing the pressure, and he's saying, you guys got to get there before he has time to throw the ball, tighten up that pressure or the secondary coverage. Lots of pressure up front. That's a good job. Nice stop on the series.
I think the officials are discussing potential intentional grounding right here.
Intentional grounding.
Yep.
Offense. The ball we placed it to spot at a foul. Loss of down.
All right. So a tougher punt coming up for Jared Campbell. Did you sense in that first half that Morrissey just had a lot of time to settle his feet and get a throw off, Danny?
There was a few times he had lots of times, and when he did, he made some really big passes. There are other times, Adam, where he just had 1-2 release the ball. He didn't wait, and in those cases we were sitting too far back away, and he just made great passes.
Jordan Smith is back to return the punt from Jared Campbell. Smith near midfield. Campbell gets it away. High booming kick, a nice one. Backpedaling is Smith. Good coverage as well. Excellent work by Western Illinois. That was Braden Smith on the special teams tackle, bringing down Jordan Smith.
So the up back has the dubious job of trying to protect him. Let's see if he does protect him. He doesn't quite get there, and he takes a pop. Great job holding on to that ball.
So the field position not as good as the Aggies were hoping for now. Ball at the 38. Diego Pavia, the quarterback. The Aggies used Pavia and Stowers at quarterback, and both guys played well in the first half. Pavia will stretch it out to Star Thomas, and he is stuffed right away by Trey Henry. The big defensive end, just like Thomas. He's from Louisiana. He's from Lake Charles. He had 2 sacks, 4.5 tackles for loss a year ago.
Trey Henry. No gain, 2nd and 10.
No gain, 2nd down and 10 for NM State. Thomas had a touchdown run to start the game. Pavia underneath. Thomas the catch. Flag comes in, makes a man miss. Gets the first down, and we'll see what the flag is about as it's down near the 40.
Flag of the play.
Multiple flags, it looks like.
Oh, Diego took a pop there. Gets up kind of limping around a little bit, but that's because they were all over him.
3 flags, it looks like, are
Personal
down.
foul, hands to the face, defense number 44. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's our nose tackle, Brian Bruce, in his 4th year at Western Illinois, senior from Chicago.
And it's a good thing Diego was such a tough cookie, because he took a pop and he got up limping a little bit, but he's in there still marshaling troops.
I think that's the wrestler in him, Danny. He was
There's
a great
no doubt.
wrestler growing up.
Yep, make great football players.
Jerry Kill looking on, veteran head coach in his 2nd year with the Aggie program. Thomas got 11, then you tack on the extra yardage on the penalty. Pavia underneath again to a streaking Trent Hudson. We'll see if he gets more involved. The Aggies did target him a lot in the first half, just could not connect with him. He gets 11.
Like the tempo, so in this case we're going to run the guys. We're going to run some guys deep. Looks like they're going to be pulling on everyone to stretch them out wide, and when they do, you just run someone underneath there, which is what we're doing, and dump the ball off and let them go get the yardage.
And once again, Danny, Diego not trying to do too much.
Yeah.
Uses his playmakers. He's done a really good job of that tonight. Ball is at the 26 for Diego Pavia, Albuquerque native, listed 6 foot 200 pounds. Run by Star Thomas. Pavia disguised that well as Thomas picks up 6.
Hey, does it look like Diego could pull that out right about there and then take it around the side there? I have to just keep an eye on that, because that was a good one there. They're coming to get Star. Star's getting good positive yardage, but if they keep collapsing as much as they are on him, he'll pull that out and he'll take it around the side, and Diego can make you pay.
Myers Hendrickson, the head coach for WIU, looking on. 2nd down and 4. Pavia rolling left, and he overthrows Jonathan Brady. He had him on the sideline. Brady had a good first half.
Intended for number 6, Jonathan Brady.
3 catches in half one for 22 yards, and just a little too high for Brady.
Make sure that if he left it wouldn't hurt him. In this case, we just missed that a bit.
Aggies a week ago 2 for 9 on 3rd down. They were 4 for 5 on 3rd down in the first half tonight. They need the 16. Pavia scampering again, throws on the move across his body. He had a target. That was Hudson who was open, but Pavia threw it out of his reach. That's a really difficult throw.
That's a hard throw because you're rolling left. That means you got to square your shoulders because he's a right-handed thrower. In this case, this is when he does his best work. Break the pocket. He sees someone right there. He's open, and he just let him just a little bit too much.
Number 84, Ethan Albertson.
38-yard field goal here for Ethan Albertson. He missed an extra point earlier. And Tatiana is on the sidelines with Athletics Director Mario Mocha.
Thank you, Mario, for joining us, and great to see you again. Now, tonight is the annual Stuff the Stadium game. Let's talk about that and how it's a big deal, especially with local businesses.
It is. You know, we had a really good crowd for our home opener against UMass. Tough loss. You know, tough weekend. It's in the 90s, and it's Labor Day weekend, but you know what? Really good crowd. I think even better than the first week. So our local businesses always come through, and then we give them to all of our elementary school kids and our service clubs, and they sure came out tonight.
And we also have something to look forward to after the game, post-game fireworks. Let's talk about that and how that idea came about.
Well, the reality is, look, we can't control what goes on the field, but everything else. And we try to have a party, right? So we have pregame stuff for the kids, tailgating, and then postgame, everybody loves a fireworks show. The NMSU Foundation made that possible. So 4 of our 6 games, we got a fantastic 5-minute fireworks show after the games, and the fans love it.
And lastly, what are your expectations for Aggie football this year?
Well, you know, it's year 2. Jerry Kill's history, it's always been year 3 where you've seen the fruits of the labor pay off. It was surprising in year 1 to go 7-6 and win a bowl game. So he's way ahead of schedule. So I think just keep building the program, keep recruiting, keep investing in the program. That's what my expectations are, that we'll keep getting better.
Automatic first
awesome. And we're all excited to see how they're going to do. So thank you so much, Mario. Back to you guys.
Keon Gibson. And it pushes the ball up to the 40, Danny. So a whole lot better field position now for this offense for WIU.
Oh, those penalties are timely, and they can kill you.
We talked early on about how good of a job a week ago the Aggies did with only 2 penalties. Different story today. That was their 4th. Morrissey hands it off to Glatz. Runs right into the Aggie big defensive line. There's Dion Wilson again. He's fired up. Young man from Paris, California. Phil Steele, preseason All-Conference in CUSA.
Yeah, they're looking for big things from him up front there. And I saw our linebackers also coming downhill, stepping their nose in there. As soon as they see the ball show, they're stepping up. Very aggressive this second half.
In motion is McKinney. They fake the sweep to him. They fly it out for the running back, Glatz. That's been successful. The running backs catching the football out of the backfield, Danny. Glatz and Choquette have been very successful with that tonight.
Yeah, I think they're seeing that the nickel has to come over and grab and cover him, and he's not getting there in time. So you can see as he's running out there, and you can see the coverage, the amount of space that you have to go get it from Jeremy, and he's just not getting there in time. It's because the back already has the advantage of coming out.
3rd catch for Glatz. Redshirt freshman running back, bright future for him. Young man who had nearly 3,300 rushing yards and 46 touchdowns as a high school senior at Morton High School in Illinois, near Peoria. That was 2 years ago. Here's Glatz trying to bounce it to the edge. He can't do so. Hard to get by Keyshawn Elliott.
Tackle for loss. That's that havoc rate that coach is trying to really impact and drive up. That's it right there. Tackle for loss. Nothing getting around Keyshawn. Coach said, hey, expect more from him this week. He's going to stay on the field a lot more, and we've seen him everywhere, and he just flies from side to side. What a great keeper that he stayed with us.
Loss of 3 for Glatz. Bigger role this year for Elliott. Graduation of Trevor Brohard, Chris Ojo, 2 stud linebackers who graduated from the program. So now it's on the shoulders of Keyshawn Elliott, who is only a sophomore, out of Richmond, Missouri, in the Kansas City area. Pitch goes to Choquette, and Choquette will get back some of that yardage that Glatz lost. He picks up 7.
That's that cutback we talked about earlier. If you go back against the grain, it makes it very tough for defenders to get him. You sometimes over pursue on that. A lot of very fast Aggies flying around to the ball. I think we have 5 total, 5 tackle for losses, which is coaches really trying to drive really, really high. So
please reset the game clock to 9:31. 9:31.
Some issues with the game clock tonight, so the referee, Rodney Burnett, will make sure they reset it to 9:31 on 3rd and 6 for Western Illinois. They need the 40. Running back is Glatz, to the left of the quarterback, Morrissey.
Game clock operator, pay attention to the signals in the field. Please reset the game clock to 9:31.
Yeah, the clock started before the ball was hiked. I think Rodney Burnett is getting a little irritated. All right, so 9:31, and the game clock will now start on the referee's signal. Morrissey, front side pressure, and he's dropped. Sone Alpiu and Gabriel Iniguez, the 2 men right there.
Well, we talked about the pressure and tackle for losses. We just mentioned that we had 5, now make it 6. Part of that is you got to get to the quarterback in a hurry because he's getting rid of it fast. Look how many guys have beat their block in getting to the quarterback. You got 3 or 4 guys that are standing right there. And he gives us a little cha-cha too that says, yeah, dang, we needed more of those.
Is that the Roy Lopez dance?
That is the Roy Lopez dance. I remember that, yeah. Hey, if he can do as good as Roy Lopez and has done, then let's take it.
Yeah, big year ahead for the former Aggie with the Houston Texans. Loss of 9 on the play. Jordan Smith will
book in-app to earn 1 key cash on top of your airline miles.
When you drive a Ram, summer is more than a season. It's an opportunity to get more in before the sun goes down. Make this the summer you drive America's best light-duty pickup.
Adam Young, Danny Neat, Tatiana Papella with you tonight from Aggie Memorial. Westar is a proud supporter of the Aggies. Find them online at weststarbank.com. Second straight home game for the Aggies, 3 straight on the road coming up after tonight. Conference USA opener, Conference USA debut next week at Liberty. Tough challenge. Right now trying to put away Western Illinois and get win number 1 this year. It would also make the Aggies 7-2 in their previous 9 games dating back to midway through last season. Quarterback Diego Pavia. We've also seen a heavy dose of Eli Stowers at quarterback tonight. Hand off to Amante Watkins. When he gets to the edge, he can fly, and he's wrapped up out of bounds on the Aggie sideline. Pickup of 8 for Watkins.
Man, Watkins can fly. The big is getting the block on the edge. We didn't quite secure that block on the edge, so it was almost let him out, but man.
Player down right now for Western Illinois. The training staff had a long way to go to the opposite sideline to tend to him. Player down right inside the Aggie sideline. We'll take a break. We're back to Aggie Memorial after this. Today's New Mexico State football game is brought to you by Newsenda Credit Union. Find them online at newsenda.org. Coors Light, the official beer of NM State Athletics. Westar Bank. Find them online at weststarbank.com. And by White Sands Federal Credit Union, a member-owned financial cooperative providing loans and deposit accounts for consumers. Learn more at wsfcu.org. Second down and 3 for the Aggies. They swing it out for Bryce Childress. His first catch of the season. The St. Louis, Missouri native is off for the races. Touchdown, Childress.
It's just a matter of time, Adam. You find one, you sneak him out there. Lots of receivers. A quick toss to the outside. Get him in the open. After that, they make someone miss, and it's a sprint.
His second touchdown as an Aggie in 2 years. Out of Trinity Catholic in St. Louis, Missouri. Went to Coffeyville Community College before becoming an Aggie. Had a big role a year ago, and I think, Danny, he was just waiting to have that first catch and make a play.
You know, it's always tough when there's a lot of good players in front of you. You just got to wait for your turn. Maybe someone gets wind of the last play. Coach says, okay, get in there. Let's see what you got. Gives him a call, says, okay, it's all you. Quick fake, play action, get it to the outside, and it's like, show us your speed. Fine, I'll make him miss. I'll make another miss, and then I'm going to cut back and show my speed.
75-yard touchdown catch for Childress, who a year ago had 212 receiving yards, and a little more breathing room now for Jerry Kill. The RPO fooled Western Illinois. Pavia didn't have to do much. Childress did the rest.
You know, when you look at that play, just Western Illinois didn't get out there fast enough. They saw that what was happening, and they tried to adjust and just try to get out there, but by then it's too late. He had the corner, and he was just going to make him miss.
Going back to that injury before that break that we took, it was Kamal Mukaram for Western Illinois who was down, but I think it was just a cramp, the way they were stretching out his leg, and then he walked off to the opposite sideline just fine on his own power, so it wasn't anything serious, and Mukaram was able to head to his sideline, and then the Aggies strike right out of the timeout.
Right.
With Bryce Childress.
Well, it's still a warm night here in Las Cruces, so
yeah.
I can see cramping up here. But yeah, they came out, they had a little rest, and said, here it is, I got the one dialed up.
What do you want to see here from the defense, Danny, with 8 minutes left? Still a lot of time left, but you
still
feel
a lot
like
of
you're
time.
pulling away.
Yeah, you want to see a good stand here. And I saw Coach Dryland was really down there hammering those guys. And I know there was a lot of passion. I could see it from here. And I think I want to see the same thing. Lots of pressure up front. Now they know pressure is coming, so he's going to try to pull it and throw it quickly. So I'm looking for our cornerbacks to step up.
Morrissey, front side pressure, throws it away. Is this a fumble or a pass? Keyshawn Elliott's going to run it in just in case. It's a touchdown for Elliott. They're going to call it a fumble on the field. The pressure from Peterson. The fumble recovery touchdown, a scoop and score for now for Keyshawn Elliott.
Man, that was a pop right there. Coming in off the edge on the bottom of your screen, you see it right here. Pop them, get it down there. When in doubt, pick it up, run it. They're going to let it come play through all the way through, and then they'll figure out what happened after that. Great pressure. Love to see that pressure, Adam.
I think they're going to check it. Jerry Kill not happy right now.
The previous.
Jerry's saying there's no way he was
The
throwing
previous
it.
play is under review.
You know, part of that is that Coach still is bringing that pressure on the edge there. So bootleg coming out. I think that was Gabe. Was that Gabe?
It was Gabe, yeah.
Gabe came crashing in on that. He checked the dive, and then he went right at the quarterback, and there was just no time to do anything. And Keyshawn was there to scoop it.
Danny, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody who made bigger strides during the offseason than Gabe Peterson.
I agree, and I think the coaches really like what he's done.
Yep.
He's a great player. He's got bigger, stronger. He understands the defense, makes him very important to that group.
And that is to take nothing away from what Gabe did a year ago. He played in 12 games. He had 2 starts. He had a big role, and he played well as a freshman. But he's on a different level right now, it seems like, in the first 2 games. And you can see right here, that's a young man who is playing that stud position. His dad, Ben, played in the NFL, played at Pittsburgh State. He did not have any FBS offers. He was going to go to SEMA and play for Nate Dreiling at Southeast Missouri State at the FCS level. And when Nate came here, when Jerry Kill got the job, they brought Gabe Peterson with him. And they said, this kid's going to be a stud down the road, and he played a lot a year ago.
Well, here's the other thing about Gabe, is this is his second year in this defense, and he is feeling very comfortable.
The call for the referee, Rodney Burnett. Now, if it's an incomplete pass, could intentional grounding be a call here as well?
Quarterback's arm. Therefore, it's an incomplete pass. Will be second down.
Nobody liked it.
Jerry Kill looks confused. So the point's wiped away. And it's an incomplete pass for Morrissey. Almost his only mistake he's made tonight.
That's a tough mistake too, right? Because you have Gabe in your face. It's very tough.
Paletti, Webb, and Webb Walker on the defensive line. Stud position is still Peterson. Nickelback is Vessel. Heavy pressure again. This coming from Keyshawn Elliott. And is the catch made by McKinney? It might have hit the turf. They're going to say he caught it. Thought the nose of the football may have hit the turf. He explodes for 13.
Tough play right here. Lots of pressure. You see guys coming in from all different angles to put pressure on the quarterback to try to get the ball as fast as you can. And
I don't know if he caught that, Danny.
I don't
that hit the
either.
turf. That ball hit the turf, and I don't think he had it secured. So Western Illinois potentially catches a break. Nice throw again by Morrissey. The Aggies were bringing the house. Hand off to Glatz, breaks the tackle, Bounces to the outside, and he's pushed out of bounds by J.J. Derville. But it could have been a potential loss of the play there for Glatz. He gets 6.
Wow, speed, right? That's a track meet to the corner. Everyone got the defense that's on him. You got someone else that's trying to get to the corner as fast as you can, and it's just a race.
Glatz is playing well, picking up where he left off to finish off his freshman year a year ago when he ran for 78 yards in an OT loss against Illinois State. 17 carries, 78 yards in the finale a year ago for WIU. They did not win a game a year ago. They've lost 13 in a row dating back to 2021. And Morrissey will throw it into the Aggie sideline. He does a really good job, Danny, if there's nothing there, of getting rid of the football.
He does, because he was just about in the grasp, and he knew that. And he knew that there was no one out there that was left. Everyone was covered, so he just threw the ball out of bounds, right, rather than take the sack.
For those wondering back home, where's Western Illinois located? It's in Macomb, Illinois. They play in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. Arguably the best league at the FCS level for collegiate football. South Dakota State, North Dakota State, and a lot of really good programs in that league. Leathernecks 6 for 10 on 3rd down. Screaming up the middle. Catch is made by Glatz, running far sideline, and Vessel gets to him. Morrissey unloads at the perfect time again under a heavy rush.
Well, it's a cat and mouse game, and so coach is not letting up. He's bringing everyone, and you can see the pressure coming right here, right up the middle through that A gap. He gives him a good pop right there, but you end up breaking someone wide on the outside, and you just can't catch him.
Catch and run of 46 for the redshirt freshman Glatz. That's been Tyler Martinez twice, getting to the quarterback, but about a half second late. First and goal from the 10. RPO, Morrissey will throw, and he throws it behind his intended target. That's the tight end, Jack White, playing in his 33rd career game.
You know, Adam, they just haven't given up on throwing the ball, too, and I know there's a lot of pressure in his face, but it's just like, hey, you bring the pressure, someone's going to be open, and we're going to gamble that we can find them open before you get to me, and it's been very close, but they've been successful, and they've taken this drive and have come all the way down the field.
2 tight ends in right now for WIU, White and Brandon Lanier, transfer from Austin Peay. Pitch to Choquette, breaks a tackle, slips away, brought down from behind by Vessel. Tyler Martinez was also there. Only 1 yard on the toss.
So you can see they're just trying to get the edge out there. They're going to pull a couple guys, get out around there, try to secure the edge. Again, we have someone pinned in the backfield, and we can't make that count, and he just can't make that tackle. And that's a tackle for a loss, so those are the things we need to clean up.
Running back, Choquette. 3rd and goal from the 9-yard line. And a timeout is called by the Aggie defense. And Jared Kill not happy.
Timeout, New Mexico State. There for
first half.
32nd.
Had to use some early timeouts in half one, and I don't think Jerry Kill wanted to use one with 4:59 left in the 3rd.
You know, when I was talking with Coach Dreiling this week, I was asking him about the UMass and saying, hey, well, tell me what's going on. What are we doing? And he said, you know, it's almost like a tale of 2 stories. Last week we had 7 plays, 7 explosive plays for 230 yards, and we had 45 plays where they only got 130 yards. So we got to figure out how to shut down those explosive plays. Now, the last one was a big explosive play. Those are the ones that are killing us that we got to figure out, well, where is the mistake and clean that up.
A year ago, of course, the Aggies had a top 30 defense nationally at the FBS level. That being a big reason why. Co-defensive coordinator Nate Dreiling, one of the youngest coordinators around the country on either side of the football. What a job he's done. Fun to watch his defense fly around. And he can also recruit at a high level as well. Aggies looking for a stop on 3rd and goal from the 9. Morrissey puts Parker in motion. Got a man wide open left side, and he missed him. Brandon Lanier, the tight end on the far side, was completely open, and Morrissey never looked at him.
Well, it's a good thing they didn't get there because they were wide open. It looks like it was a breakdown on the backside for New Mexico State, but lots of pressure up front. He had to get rid of the ball, but you can see that there's two guys untouched, uncovered in the zone there, and I think everyone's looking at each other going like, well, whose is that? So that's a breakdown that you got to fix, but we got to break.
Toriano Tate from 26 yards away. And it's no good. Well, as we said, this kicking game for Western Illinois, there's a lot of question marks going into the year. And their first opportunity from 26, no good. The Aggies will take over and they catch a break.
Yeah, that's the first time in a long time where the Aggies had someone come into the red zone and hold them to no points, and that's tough to do. We missed one last week ourselves, a field goal. Those hurt, especially when you make so many good plays to get you down to this point, and it just looks like he pushed that right.
.328 yards of offense for NM State after a nice game a week ago. Nearly 500 yards of offense last week. 458 to be exact. So moving the football, yardage-wise, was not an issue. Turnover is the big issue a week ago. So far, so good. 0 turnovers tonight for NM State after 3, leading to 21 points a week ago. Catch is made in stride, breaking a tackle. There goes Brady. The young man out of Bishop Gorman. See ya. Touchdown, JB.
Let me just say, Bishop Gorman has been nice to us, and we've got some very good players out of Bishop Gorman, and this is one of them, the speedster. And you're right, Adam, if he's even, he is leaving. Got a little play action in there. He's coming across the middle there on that slant. And it's tough because if you're behind him on a defender, there's nothing you can do, but you got to stay in there. He did not, and Jonathan made him pay.
Ethan Albertson on to attempt the extra point.
There was a point of emphasis tonight to get the playmakers the football more, and Jonathan Brady is certainly one of those guys they were circling. He's one of the playmakers. They wanted to get the football more. He touched the football early on a couple times in the first 2 plays of the game, and he is fired up. And Danny, off the field, they don't get any better than Jonathan Brady.
Yeah, it's great to have him. And what a great asset to have on there with that receiving core. And you can see one more look at it, little play action. Breaks across the middle on a little slant or a skinny post. And after that, it's like, if I'm even, I am leaving. And he does got the wheels.
So how about the big plays now, the first 2 games this year? 80-yard touchdown run by Monte Watkins a week ago. 75-yard touchdown catch by Childress earlier in the quarter. And now this one from Brady 80 yards away.
Yeah, points are not going to be an issue. It seems like they're going to be able to put a lot of points. Maybe it's going to get down to defense and trying to clean up what we need to do there. But lots of confidence. Great throw by Diego. Part of that is set up by the run. You know, we've done so well at running the football that they have to honor that. So he rode that run, that fake in the middle, a long time to hold it, pull it, and pop it right out there. That's a great job.
Well, Danny, you need to start putting your thinking cap on for Whataburger play of the game. You got some options now with Childress and Brady back to back.
Can there be co-players?
I guess so. We could run twice, right? 4:38 left here in the third quarter. Western Illinois will have it at the 25-yard line.
So really like to see this defense clean up and make sure that anyone on the backside is being accounted for and we don't have errors back there. There's going to continue to be lots of pressure on the quarterback. I like that. You got to stay with it. Do not let your foot off the gas. But we got to have a secondary kind of step up as well. Maybe we get a turnover.
And that's the one missing piece tonight. Aggies still haven't forced a turnover. Western Illinois, 226 yards of offense, 42 on the ground, 184 through the air from Morrissey, who runs it here. And He's taken down by both Wilson and Elliott. Both guys playing well tonight.
Just one more on that offense. You know, I guess what I'm looking at, I think we've scored every time except for one time where we punt the ball. We've had 7 drives and we've scored each one, so points aren't going to be an issue, it seems like, early on in the season, I know, but that Coach Beck's doing well. So now let's see. It's Coach Dryling's turn on the defensive side to see if he can get a stand.
Noah Arinze is in right now at that stud position on defense. Transfer from Oklahoma out of Kirkwood, Missouri in the St. Louis area, number 42 in crimson. Morrissey lets it fly. Pass is caught by A.J. Coons, the junior. And Coons will set up 3rd and short after picking up 5 yards. Deion Wilson's everywhere. He is absolutely everywhere. That was a handful of yards downfield, and Wilson got there.
At 6'5", 300. Look at the pressure, too. So lots of pressure up there. I'm just going to hold on. Oh, yeah. That's a big hoss coming to help out.
Whoa. 10 games a year ago at Arizona for Deion Wilson. A lot of hype coming into the year. Coaching staff feels like he's an NFL talent down the road. Morrissey on 3rd and short. He unloads. He has a man, and it's caught. Coons able to hang on in between the 2 Aggie defenders, Miller and Early. And then a late flag comes in. And Coons is shaken up after picking up 27.
Personal foul, targeting, defense number 11. That play is a...
That's the 2nd time tonight Dylan Early's been called for targeting. And earlier he was able to stay in the game, so now they will review it again.
You know, I see an area where we really need to kind of sharpen up on, Adam, and it's the secondary. The secondary, and not so much the penalty, but the coverage. It's just got to be a little tighter there because we have lots of pressure on the quarterback. And if you're going to bring everyone with pressure, you're going to end up in a man coverage a lot of the time. And if so, you got to be able to lock down and hold on to that. So that's Micah Miller to your left there. That's Dylan Early coming to your right there. And that's the penalty they called.
Defense back there lost some key pieces during the offseason. Cyrus Dumas, Bryce Jackson, who was so good, who graduated. But there's still a lot of pieces back there, Dylan Early included, that have played a lot of football here. Andre Selden, Mekhi Miller, B.J. Schulark, J.J. Derville. So they're blending in some newcomers, but there's a lot of returners too.
Yeah, you know, and Micah Miller last week, as my sons, and we looked at the game and we called each other and we're all crying in our milk over should have done this, should have done that. Number 20, Micah Miller, is my younger son Collins was saying that guy was everywhere on the field. He is flying around making plays. So he's been around the ball. And then Dylan Early, he just got caught again. I don't know if it was intentional that he dropped his head on that, Adam, but it did look like he got the top. So this is going to be a little different.
Do you say something to him if you're Nate Dreiling or one of the position coaches, if you're Cliff Odom or
it's a good question,
Melvin Rice?
I don't think so, and here's why, because it wasn't malice. He wouldn't do it.
After review, targeting has been confirmed. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. Number 11 is disqualified.
I was going to say, even if he wasn't DQ'd, would you say something to him about being extra careful just going forward, because that's 2 times now?
It is. The hard part is that if you have guys on the back end that are flying around at, as fast as they go, sometimes it happens, bang bang, and it just happens. Of course, you want to tell him, hey, look, we got to clean those up because those cost us, because that gives him a big play here. But his aggressive play, that's what you don't want to take away from by saying something to him and saying, oh, well, you gotta watch this. Like, okay, then I should slow down. No, don't slow down.
Jordan Vincent will come in for Early at strong safety. Vincent, a transfer from FCS Eastern Illinois. 2-time All-Conference in the Ohio Valley. He's out of Chicago, so a lot of game experience for Vincent. But his first year at this level, here at the FBS level. Early disqualified. Ball at the 26, 1st and 10. Morrissey will throw. Tight window, incomplete. Broken up by Reggie Ackles. Intended for Donald McKinney.
It's good coverage. He had to really thread that in there, and maybe Reggie was able to get an arm or leg in there, an arm in there to pull that thing down. I'm not sure. That's what he did. He was able to get his arm in there and pull the other arm out. Good coverage.
Ackles, a young man who the coaching staff is very high on. First year in the program, held an offer from Florida State and Washington State. He's an athlete. He was also a wide receiver at the JUCO level. Man is wide open. Catch is made by McKinney. He makes a man miss, and he sneaks in the end zone. Donald McKinney, the senior out of Tustin, California. And the Leathernecks back on the scoreboard for the first time in half two.
These big explosive plays that they get behind everyone, it's just we're playing a little soft on the backside there, and we just can't get there fast enough, and he's able to make the pass, get him off there, and sneak around for the TD.
Point after from Tate. On the way and good. So 37-21 with 2:38 left here in the third quarter. 4 plays, 75 yards, covering 2 minutes. And McKinney finds the end zone.
He gets behind everyone. He gets behind the first line, but in front of the second, and is able to just sit down in there with no pressure on the quarterback. He makes a great play, great pass. Hey, Adam, lots of football left here. 2:38 left in the third quarter here, and Western Illinois not going away.
Far from over. Leathernecks a year ago went 0-11, the program's first winless season since 1944. Now, they did have 3 losses by 7 points or fewer. It's a bright future for that man, Myers Hendrickson, in this program. They got some really good FBS talent to transfer in. Their last win was against Illinois State on October 30th of 2021. Some notable alumni for WIU, Brian Cox went to WIU, NFL star. Rodney Harrison went to WIU as well. Macomb, Illinois used to be the home of St. Louis Rams training camp. Well, we had the chance to catch up with Jerry Kill earlier this week, and he said this week of practice was more about the Aggies than focusing on just Western Illinois.
Our football team, and I said that last year, I worry, you're going to play whoever you're going to play, but you got to concentrate on your team getting better. So our concentration's on, us getting better, cutting down on all the things that we did wrong on Saturday, getting them corrected and play the way that we need to play to win.
And off goes to Star Thomas, and he is dragged down by Mike Cardilli, the redshirt freshman linebacker. It's a really hard prep for the Aggies, Danny, because Western Illinois is playing their first game. So at least WIU had some tape on the Aggies. It wasn't the case the other way around.
Right. Well, the thing is that works well for the first half. After that, you have to come together and say, okay, it's what adjustments are we going to make as a coaching staff to this? We've seen them for almost 3 quarters now. What are we going to do?
Aggies would love another explosion play. We've seen it from Childress and Brady so far in the quarter. Thomas gets to the second level before he's chopped down. Picks up 9 yards, and it's going to be 3rd and short. Looks like 3rd and maybe a half yard.
Barely reach out there, grab that leg. Otherwise, he's going to put some more yardage in there.
Third down and less than 1. Pavia still in shotgun formation, though, with Thomas to his right. Let's see if Diego keeps it himself and just follows that big offensive line. Now he goes under center. He spins. It's going to depend on the spots. The Western Illinois sideline is saying no way. I think he might have got enough. Let's see where they spot the football. Yep. It'll be enough to move the chain.
I like that. Here's why I like that, because when you're in shotgun and they had how many guys, 8 guys, 9 guys in the box, they know everyone's coming up there. So when you come underneath there, you're able to lean in there and push for 1 or 2 yards. And they still got lots of penetration on that defensive line in there.
Ryan Crandall, the linebacker, almost had a second effort to stop and stuff Pavia, but Pavia just got enough for the first down. Up to the 35-yard line. Final 30 seconds here in the third quarter. It's been a good offensive quarter for NM State. Ball is loose. Pavia will scoop it up, but they're going to say he was down. Star Thomas running the football, who gets 4. Now the third quarter, a week ago, the Aggies did not score. They did not score in the first or the third quarters. Tonight, they have scored 17 in the third. And I think they're going to let the clock run out here in the third quarter. They will. So we'll go to the fourth. NM State trying to hang on and go to 7-2 in their previous 9 games dating back to last year. Western Illinois, though, the Leathernecks playing well, especially Matt Morrissey. 37-21 through 3.
Geico makes car insurance easy.
Second down and 5 from the 40. With Watkins and Thomas, the 2 running backs right now. Bellamy, Brady, David, the 3 Aggie wide receivers. Right now it's technically a 2-possession game. 16 points is the difference right now. Aggies trying to extend it. Pavia throws. Star Thomas hit as he catches, and he hangs on. Tackle made by Braden Smith. 13-yard connection in an Aggie first down.
So getting the running back coming out of the backfield for Western Illinois, and also the Aggies, very difficult to watch. You got to keep looking on this linebacker. You're trying to keep your eyes inside to see what's happening with the run. And in the meantime, you sneaking someone right out. You see him coming right down the middle of your screen there, wide open in the middle, and just takes a pop. What makes a great catch.
Thomas a week ago had 2 catches, 20 yards. 2 running back look once again. Pavia, RPO, he'll pull it. He'll swing it out for Watkins with running room, and he slips. Well, Juan De La Cruz, the middle linebacker, was in a good position, but Watkins could have made a miss. He does get 6 yards, though.
Wasn't sure if he was trying to get ready to set up a little move that he was going to put on him and then just got tripped up there. But you know the nice thing about that last play, Adam, is that the development of it, Diego sees 2 guys downfield deep. Both of them have pretty good coverage, and he elects not to push it in there and just throw it down.
4 receiver look. Trevor Stevens in right now at receiver, one of the Aggie tight ends. Hand off to Thomas, bounces off a tackle, drags and almost pulls away from Braden Smith. He gets 7, and he moves the chains once again.
Getting those tight ends in there. I talked to Coach Beck too about, running backs you got a lot of quarterbacks, but man, the tight ends, you have so many tight ends. Is that going to be in the mix as well? And he says everything's in the mix. I like tight end plays. I've always liked it because defensively it's very difficult to defend when you get a good athletic tight end.
Pistol back, Jamani Jones. He had a good first quarter tonight. He's back in there at tailback. They give it to Jones. Jones angles out left. Belted by Smith, who's been active, but once again, Jamani Jones shedding some tackles. He did that early in the game. 6-yard scamper for the Tulsa native. Danny, right now there's so many running backs who are playing well and can play well that it's hard to keep everybody happy, I think, with carries.
Yeah, I think you run into a situation of, who goes in where and what do we do? And I think that's where a coach has to just kind of work in different packages for different sets to make sure everyone gets some touches and keep everyone fresh, too. I mean, you have to use that to your advantage.
Right now it's more so Jones and Thomas splitting the carries. We've seen Watkins a little bit and Young a little bit as well. Pavia runs away from De La Cruz, and he chucks it out of bounds.
That's a good case right there where Diego saw that everyone was covered. We're just going to throw the ball away and not get caught in a situation where you're trying to force it in anything. It's a little bootleg. You come out there, lots of pressure, no one open, and just throw it away. live to fight another day.
So they're down at 5 from the 29. The Aggies are in Ethan Albertson field goal range, but you would love to extend the drive right here. Not many third down opportunities. The Aggies successful, though, 5 for 7 after going 2 for 9 on third down a week ago. Line to gain is the 24. And the play is blown dead. Looks like a timeout was called.
Timeout, New Mexico State.
The offense, led by offensive coordinator Tim Beck, scored 49-plus points in 3 of the final 4 regular season games a year ago. Right now they're trying to sneak into the 40s here in this one. A lot of time left early on in the 4th, 3rd and 5 out of the timeout called by the Aggies. And now they only have one left. They called one defensively earlier, now they call one on offense, and they only have one remaining. They need the 24 here on 3rd and mid. Empty backfield for Pavia. The Aggie quarterback will throw it underneath to Hudson. He needs some yards after the catch. It's going to be close. He might have been short. This will depend on the spot. He got a couple yards after the catch, but let's see if it was enough.
I think that's where one we'd like to see him take that foot, take that outside foot, plant it, and then dive for those last yard. Here they are.
4th and 1.
Go for it.
Might as well, right?
Yeah.
They haven't tried it tonight. Aggies 1 for 1 on 4th down a week ago. They only need 1 yard. They need the 24. Thomas, the running back. He will take it. He runs straight ahead, and he's gone. 4th and 1, no problem for Starr. 25 yards away. He scampers in for the second time tonight. And the Homer, Louisiana native, extends the Aggie advantage.
Lots of pressure up front there. They got it. They know they're going to be stacking, looking for that middle in there. Let's just take a look right in the middle. Look at the line. Just push everyone. That offensive line just dominate up front and just push everyone to the left and just smash them down and create a seam right behind. And that's all Starr needed to run that seam in and take it in for a score.
Point after from Albertson, right down the middle. Starr Thomas now 96 yards rushing on a dozen carries, an average of 8, 2 touchdowns, and that 25-yard explosion on 4th and 1, his longest run tonight.
You know, great running backs. They've done some great things up there, but I do have to tell you that all those big battles on offense, and those are won and lost on that offensive line, and that's what Coach Mitchell and I talked about. It's, you know, you win that offensive line, you win in the trenches, you're the Army, you're the guys that have to go door to door, make it happen, and you win the war, and that's what they're doing up front there. Great blocking. Let's watch those guys up front. Those guys are unsung heroes that just smash everyone down. One kick-out block and Starr's off to the races. Coach Mitchell has done a great job with that offensive line. See if we can keep them healthy and have a great year.
Danny, dare we say the offensive line could be a strength this year?
Oh.
Could it be?
Did you say that out loud?
I did.
Yeah, I do believe that. If they can stay healthy, I think it was really good.
Historically, too, when Jerry Kill has his best teams, they're really good up front on offense and defense. Jerry Kill doesn't want to win shootouts. He wants to really grind it out, run the football, be effective up front. So that's when he has his really good teams. When you go back to when he was at Southern Illinois, when he went to the Orange Bowl with Northern Illinois, when he had some good squads at Minnesota. They ran the football down your throat.
I think those are the basics, right? So run the football, other things will come from that, and it's one of the comments he made somewhere along the way that it's a great comment too. It's like, hey, you get a good quarterback, you do some run the football, you do some good things there, you play decent defense. That's how you rebuild a team. We are grinding it out. Lots of scores offensively, 8 drives, and they've put in a lot of points.
Jerry Kill trying to go to 7-1 all time as a head coach against Western Illinois, going back to his days at Southern Illinois in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. Keontae Clinton there in coverage. 2nd down and 10 for WIU.
So this fourth quarter, this is where I really would like to see those cornerbacks. I really like to see them tighten up a little bit more and play a little tougher defense. Part of that is if you go get the quarterback, you're going to be on an island on coverage, and you have to be able to do that. And I think you're going to have to do that in our conference. You just can't sit back and play in a deep zone and rush 3 all day long.
That young man, Matt Morrissey, is going to win this Leathernecks football team some games this year, no question about it. He's taken down for the sack. Nikhil Webb Walker, Jamaica native, the only Jamaican playing FBS collegiate football.
He's our leading tackler, right? Coming into off last season. Last season he had, last week he had 7 tackles, 1 QB hurry, and he missed a couple sacks. He's tough up there, and he's a big old hoss too. Tough to block him.
Loss of 7. Webb Walker, only a redshirt freshman. A lot of room to grow. He is 6'6", 275.
Ouch.
Team high 7 tackles, 6 solo a week ago. Morrissey will hand it off. Galatz, nowhere to go. Keyshawn Elliott, the first man to meet him, with help from Sterling Webb.
I like to see that because this is where we had UMass in the fourth quarter. We had them down 3rd and 11, and then got to 4th and 7, and we didn't make the tackle on the quarterback keeper up the middle. And this time we were ready for it and made a tackle.
Webb, just like Paletti and Peterson a year ago, played a lot. 2.5 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles as a true freshman a year ago. I think that playing time that those guys got a year ago as true freshmen is really helping early on in year 2. Campbell will kick it away to Jordan Smith. And it goes out of bounds. Well, it's been a...
Welcome back to Aggie Memorial Stadium. Tonight marks the final home game for Aggie football for the next month. After opening 2 home games here at Aggie Memorial Stadium, the Aggies won't return home until early October. Now coming up next for Jerry Kill's program is the Conference USA opener next weekend at Liberty, where the Aggies upset the Flames a year ago. Then the Aggies will travel to rival New Mexico before making the long trip to play at Hawaii. After a much-needed bye week following the travel to Hawaii, the Aggies return home on October 4th for their conference home opener against Florida International. That game against FIU will be on a Wednesday and will be the first of 4 midweek games for the Aggies in the month of October. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Tatiana. Unnecessary roughness call on the punt on the Aggies on Reggie Ackles. So instead of being at midfield at the 50, the Aggies are back at the 35. Jamani Jones will run left for 2 yards, and it's 2nd down and 8 coming up.
And I think they go back to Eli, give him some more time back there at quarterback and see what he can make happen there. Good experience right now.
Some good moments for Stowers in the first half. Touchdown run, also had a nice pitch to Amante Watkins on his touchdown run. A new center right now as well. Cooper Sheehan is the center right now, so the Aggies getting him some work. Coming in for Kanan Yarrow. RPO for Stowers. He unloads downfield, has a man. It's hauled in by Jordan Parker for the 2nd straight week. Long strike to Parker, perfectly placed by Stowers.
Now, did he lay that ball in there, Adam? Great time. So first of all, great play action up there. You get Parker that gets a step on the defender, and Eli just launches that thing. Great touch on that. He just drops that in there. Great job. I wasn't sure he was going to go for it. It's like, oh man, that's going to be a long way. Is he going to do it? He did. What a great throw.
Danny, that was an absolute dime from Stowers on only his 2nd pass attempt in 2 weeks. 63-yard connection. Can't go. Stowers with 63 on 1 throw moments ago to Jordan Parker. So big plays now from Childress, Brady, and Parker at wide receiver here in this half. And the Aggies have posted 31 points already here in half 2, Danny.
Yeah, I think they found a rhythm in there with a lot of things that they could do, and I was really impressed with Eli's throw. He laid that thing out there nice. Just nice and calm, collected, and just had a perfect pass.
So Now Stowers has been a big part of 3 touchdowns. He had 1 running himself. He had 1 on a good pitch to Watkins, and now he throws 1 to Parker. And Jerry Kill talked earlier this week, Danny, at our radio coaches show about the fact that Eli Stowers really hasn't played a whole lot of football the last couple of years because he wasn't playing much at Texas A&M. So you really go back to his high school days when he was playing consistent big snaps, and it's been a while, and Jerry feels like he might be ahead of schedule because of the lack of game experience the last couple of years.
Yeah, he's looked very impressive. There's no doubt about it.
So we'll see if we see some subs now defensively. Already seeing some backups on offense for NM State. New quarterback for Western Illinois, Nathan Lamb, now the quarterback. A transfer from the College of the Sequoias.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, remains down.
And not an ideal start, delay of game to start for Nathan Lamb. Had a really good 3-year career at the College of the Sequoias. 4,600 plus career passing yards at the JUCO level. Also had 23 rushing touchdowns. He's a dual threat quarterback. So head coach Myers Hendrickson has 2 really good options this year with Morrissey, who played very well tonight, and now Lamb. We'll see some action late in the game. Lamb will hand it off, nowhere to go.
Wow. Well, I was watching Tyler Martinez come in there from the linebacker spot. He just came darting in there. Just made a great tackle. Wrapped his legs up and came streaming downhill.
So 2 yards. Western Illinois was hanging around for a while. Just could not get stops against this high-powered Aggie offense. Lamb had nearly 2,200 passing yards a year ago. Tackle broken by Choquette, but still nowhere to go. Malachi McLean almost got to him in the backfield, but couldn't hang on.
I know talking to Coach Darling, he was really trying to improve on those few areas that he wanted to have turnovers. He wanted to be able to increase the tackle for losses. I think we've got 8 so far. Adam, I think
please reset the game clock to 8:02.
Up there.
8.
He's doing quite well. Had a great second half, and I think he's really made some adjustments.
Third down and a bunch, 3rd and 17 for Western Illinois. You see the difference in total yards tonight. Nearly 550 for NM State. And on 3rd and 17, Western will run the football with Choquette. That is carry number 9 for him. 37 yards on the ground before that carry and a touchdown. He gets 5 yards, and Western Illinois will have to punt with the clock moving, under 8 left here in the 4th. Danny, we're going to see the offense for the Aggies back out there here in a moment. But if you're the coaching staff in this situation, do you stick with Stowers, or do you go even deeper and bring in Gavin Frakes, or heck, even potentially the freshman, Blaise Berlowitz?
Well, I think you certainly have options. Eli's played good. It's always great to get him more opportunity to get in there and feel very comfortable with it. But it wouldn't be bad to give someone else a chance and see what they can do just in case. I mean, we've had years where we've had to go 3 deep at quarterback, so lots of options there.
Could be a delay of game here in Western Illinois. The play clock reads 0, unless there was a penalty before that. Just kind of predicting what we're about to see. I think you go with Stowers and you help him get more game experience.
Delay a game.
That's what he needs right
Kicking team. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
I think the more game experience, regardless of the score, Danny, that's huge for Stowers going forward, especially throwing the football, too, because we've only seen him do it twice in games. We know he can do it.
Yep.
We know he can be an effective passer. But getting him some passes in game would help.
Some confidence.
Yeah.
You're right. I think that you can't go wrong with that strategy.
Jordan Smith will back up near the 35. That's where he takes it. Smith running left, and he's taken down just shy of the 40. So it will be Stowers back out there after a 3-yard return for Smith and a nice 47-yard punt for Jared Campbell. See what kind of changes Jerry Kill makes. We're going to see a bunch, I think. Tim Gans is going to be out there. Tyre Brooks will be out there at wide receiver. Gans is a running back. Cooper Sheehan is back in at center. These are good snaps and good game experience for Cooper, who's going to back up Kanan Yarrow this year. Cooper's out of Permian High in Odessa, and if you know Friday Night Lights, well, that's the Friday Night Lights school, Permian High in Odessa. Go Mojo. Handoff here, and it goes to Lorenzo McMillan. How deep is this running back room?
Wow. And the blocking up front there was just great, big, huge gaping holes to run through there. One shoelace away from breaking it for a touchdown. Let's look at the hole that's being produced up there. Look at that line again, just really dominating up front there. And it really starts there.
McMillan probably 6 deep on the depth chart, but not for a lack of talent. It's just a loaded room. He's had a really good camp, really good spring, and it's led into game action here tonight. And off to Tim Gans. Danny, we really like the way that he ran down the stretch last year.
Yeah, runs hard. Is a hard-working running back.
So right now it's a trio of McMillan, Young, and Gans. The future of this program, perhaps. Young will go off, and tight end Tyler DeVera comes in. Aggies certainly play differently with the 2 quarterbacks. Pavia played exceptional tonight. Stowers is really good as well. Stowers will take the snap. He'll pull it, trying to navigate himself. Near first down yardage. Looks like he gets 4. He needed 5 yards. 3rd down and 1 coming up. What's impressed you the most about Eli Stowers tonight, Danny?
I think his composure back there, right? So he's made some deep passes. You know, I talked to Coach Beck about it, and it's like, well, how much are you going to throw? He's like, in due time. And, of course, I was pressing him to try to say, hey, come on, is he going to throw the ball? It's like, yeah, we're working on some things. We're doing what we can. He's a hard worker. He's a great guy to have around. I just like his composure back there. He feels like he's really got it all together.
3rd and 1. They give it to McKylan Young. Makes a man miss. Bounces to the edge. Look at the young man out of Midland. An explosion run for McKylan Young. 1st down and then some.
You know, that's another speedster from that area in there, that Midland, Odessa area that we've really done quite well and getting some great players in there. Look at his explosion right there. Very fast. Turn on the jets. Get as many as you can. Oh, man, he wanted that TD.
31-yard scamper for McKylan Young. Let's see if they reward him on 1st and goal from the 3. Stowers gives it to Young, and he's in. They reward him. The 2nd collegiate touchdown for the Midland native, McKylan Young. Danny, it's funny because a couple of years ago we joked, Cooper Sheehan is in at center right now, and Cooper played at Odessa Permian, which is a huge rival of Midland Legacy where McKylan played. So those 2 guys were big rivals in high school, and now Cooper's blocking for McKylan.
I like it. I think that's what happens when you get to college. It's less about, hey, what high school did you go to? More about, hey, where are you from? Oh, from the Midland, Odessa area. Oh, yeah, me too, yeah. I know you are. And you forget about all that, and it's now like we got this other cause to worry about, and it's trying to get New Mexico State to the next level. And I think that's great. I think that's what college is all about, playing collegiate sports.
Young was identified by the Aggie coaching staff when they were still at TCU, at Texas Christian. He was at one of their camps when he was in high school. They loved him then. There wasn't room for him at TCU. So the coaching staff comes here. One of their first targets was McKylan Young, who was under-recruited despite an illustrious high school career. And they feel like he has the chance down the road, Danny, to be a premier back here.
I think there's so much you can do with him, right? So he's kind of a scat back, so he can come out of the backfield. He can line up into the slot. He can do a lot of things. He can run between the tackles. We've seen him run outside tackle, break it. He's got speed. There's just a lot you can do with him.
58-21. There you see the drive, 5 plays, 61 yards, just shy of 3 minutes. And now the Aggie offense has gone for north of 600 yards. 609. My goodness.
Free kick out of bounds by the team. The ball be placed at the 35-yard line, first down.
And I could just say with 58 on the board, I mean, he's not trying to run it up or anything else, but he's just trying to call some very basic plays. But look at the coaching staff. Even with that, it's like this, you can't kick the ball out of bounds. You can't. These are the things that you have to clean up if you're going to make a run and be a very, very strong competitor in Conference USA. You've got to be able to do those little things.
Aggies posting similar numbers to that regular season finale last year against Valpo when they won 65-3. Right now, 58 points. Lamb back in at quarterback for Western Illinois, and Choquette goes nowhere. Malachi McLean, Amari Pouncey, 2 of the men right there for the Aggies on defense. Loss of 3 yards, second down and 13. We'll give some credit to Western Illinois for a little over a half. They really hung in this football game.
And they weren't backing down. They gave us all that we could handle, and I think we got exposed in the secondary and some things there that we got to work on. And they had a great coaching strategy coming in, and they did well. And I think it just kind of wore down after a while.
The Aggies have outscored WIU 38-7 here in this half. Some confusion there from Lamb, nowhere to go. Loss of 1, so now third down and 14. Lamb's helmet comes off, so he has to go off for a play, and Morrissey will return. This offense hasn't been as in sync with Lamb as opposed to Morrissey when they were clicking for a while. 11 TFLs for the Aggies, leading to 49 yards of loss for the WIU offense.
I guess that will help the havoc rate, as Coach Trinan calls it.
Right back to the ground, nowhere to go for Choquette. Tyrese Thomas there. Late flag comes in though, a number of flags coming in. Jerry Kill giving the line judge an earful. I didn't see it get chippy down there during the tackle, but may have.
There are 2 fouls on the play. After the play, personal foul, number 13 of the defense, personal foul, offense number 78. Those fouls offset, it'd be 4th down.
78 for Western Illinois' left tackle Yasser Al-Awadi, and Miles Rouser is number 13 in crimson, so those penalties will offset. Okay, yeah, Rouser there, top left of your screen. Some extracurriculars, and that was that penalty. I didn't see anything from Al-Awadi, though.
I was too busy trying to really appreciate McLean's sprint in there.
Malachi's had a good quarter. Fair catch is called for by Jordan Smith around the 25-yard line, and we get a flag again. And Jerry Kill's not going to like this. Oh, my goodness. Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, an extremely, extremely late hit at the very, very end from Western Illinois, and I think it was Trey Henry, and that's going to potentially lead to something else. Yeah, Trey Henry at the very, very end after Smith had called for the fair catch. So the officials are going to sort this out, and Henry's going to try to walk it off. Well, the last thing you want in a game is to get chippy like this.
Right.
It's 58-21.
It's frustration, right? So frustration kind of sets in, and it's things happen, but you don't want injuries. You don't want things to happen when it's 2:39 in the fourth quarter and a score like this. It's just not worth it.
So a helmet comes off right here. There's Mike Newman, who had his helmet off, and it was Trey Henry at the end of the play. So the officials are going to sort it out and try to figure out this entire mess here with 2:39 left in the fourth quarter. I think some frustration probably settling in as well for WIU,
there
given
are
how
two
this half
fouls on
has
the
gone.
play, both by the kicking team. Personal foul, participating without helmet, number 10. After the play, personal foul, late hit, 0. Both of those fouls will be enforced. First down.
All right, so participation without a helmet, that was Newman. And then the personal foul at the end, they called it on 0, but it's not Jack White. It was number 6. It was Trey Henry. Yeah, if you don't have a helmet on, you can't be in the play, and that's Newman, who was involved without the helmet. Either way, the officials get it sorted out. The Aggies will scoot into Western Illinois territory. Not the finish that Myers Hendrickson, the head coach, was looking for, because otherwise it's been a pretty good night if you're a Western Illinois fan. I mean, you have to feel pretty darn good about the first 2 quarters. Not so much in this half, but a lot of good things to build on after the first 30, and things have kind of unraveled here in the fourth and really the second half in general. Stowers, the quarterback, hands it off to Lorenzo McMillan. How about earning some playing time tonight, Danny? 2 explosions from him.
Hey, this is what the coaches remember. So they remember giving you the chance to touch the ball, and you just didn't go down there and do something silly with it, but you made a great opportunity, and you made something big happen, and here's what it happens. You get a good play, good running play. Remember that, come back to him.
McMillan zooms ahead for 30 yards, and he's going to stay in the game. Ball is at the 15. Eli Stowers, the quarterback. They give it to McMillan, and McMillan runs hard up to the 10-yard line. He gets 5 yards. When your number's called, you better be ready, and boy, is McMillan ready to play. Offensive line looks a lot different surrounding the center, Cooper Sheehan, right now. Jai Rodriguez in the game. He's at right tackle. Left tackle right now for the Aggies is Caden Stanton. Stowers will keep it, and he runs forward down to the 5-yard line, and we get more extracurriculars. So the officials will need to get this under control here in the final minute. You want nothing bad to happen, and right now it's a little too chippy for anybody's liking.
You know, when you look at Adam, we kind of see what happened here. I think it is just everyone's getting a little.
Well, some guys are a little hungry too because they haven't played tonight.
Yep.
And they're ready to hit somebody. Legally, of course, but they're ready to hit somebody as far as blocking is concerned. Hand off to McMillan, and he's pulled back. Aggies do get a first down, though. And a flag comes in after the play. And Jerry Kill's going to call his football team over right now and make sure that clear heads prevail here. Smart move, veteran move by Jerry. All right, they're going to pick up the flag, and the clock's going to run out. I think Jerry Kill's just going to get his football team to the locker room. Clock's going to run out. Of course, the Aggies will not run up the score and try to score, so they're going to leave with a 58-21 victory. All in all, a pretty good night and a really good second half, Danny.
Yeah, that was a great job. You see Coach Mitchell was right there behind Coach Keel. That's Coach Sanchez right there, receivers coach. Both those guys had a fantastic game plan, and they executed great with Coach Beck. And of course, Coach Keel has the strings. He's the guy. He's the man behind it. Very strong leadership.
Monster second half of the Aggie offense. 17 points in the third quarter. And then they outscored Western Illinois 21-zip in the fourth quarter. Passing game was good. Running game was effective. Total yardage was 650 for the Aggies tonight. 380 through the air, 270 on the ground. The Aggies had 5 rushing touchdowns, 2 from Thomas, and then 1 from Young, 1 from Watkins, and 1 from the quarterback, Eli Stowers. Time now for the Whataburger plays of the game. Explosion plays. That was kind of the theme here tonight, Danny. And it all started with this 75-yard touchdown catch by Bryce Childress, his first catch all year.
Throw the ball out there in playmakers' hands and have them go make a play. 75 yards, that is a long way to make a play. It's just not straight, too. He had to do some zigging and zagging in there to make it happen. Great job right there.
That was the first big play in the third quarter. Later on in the quarter, how about Jonathan Brady? 80 yards away. The first play from scrimmage on that particular drive. Brady 102 receiving on 4 catches in that touchdown tonight. The passing game was good all night, Danny.
Yep, Jonathan Brady, he's Bishop Gorman. A lot of good talent came from there. Great job, both receivers.
Good night for the Aggies. They win 58-21, the final score. They're going to travel to Liberty next week. That's next Saturday in the Conference USA opener. Liberty earlier today defeated Bowling Green, so they are 1-0 entering next week. Big thanks to our entire crew. Great job as always tonight. Vinny Conway, Rito Rodriguez, Alex Ramirez, Val Acheluz Pastrana, the entire crew. For my partner Danny Nee and Anthony Casals, our talent stats. Adam Young saying so long from Aggie Memorial. The Aggies handle Western Illinois. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Good night from Aggie Memorial.